All right, all right, all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the PCT Open House. Hey, how's everybody feeling?
Hi, pals.
Good to be able to be here with you guys. Folks, my name is Marty Anaya, and if you are watching live at our website, I'm going to give you a couple of, little housekeeping here. But if you're watching live on our website, it's pacificcoast.tv, or you can watch, if we put it there, right underneath my Narcan. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Channel 26 in Pacifica, Channel 27 Half Moon Bay and Coastside. That is on Comcast. You can watch us on AT&T. So let's say you're watching, maybe you're watching on TV and you're going, man, I really want to know what's going on the Coastside right now, or I want my mom to know. And my mom doesn't live around here, but she lives on the East Coast or she lives in Europe. Guess what? You can watch us worldwide right there at pacificcoast.tv. So if you can't get down here, we're doing this live on the 24th of May, 2025. If you happen to watch this later, welcome. But if you're watching us live, you can come down here from 2 to 5 p.m. Jason, if you wouldn't mind, put that graphic up one more time. I know you've been looking at it, but for those of us who are just tuning in, it is 2 to 5 p.m. live. May the 24th, 2025, you can come down here. I know it says to RSVP, and I gave you that website, pacificcoast.tv, but you can come down here live, and I'm going to give you an excellent reason why. Because we have not only a wonderful TV studio that's going to allow you to learn how to do podcasts, it's going to learn how to do radio, it's going to learn how to do television, but guess what else we got? We got about 12 amazing, wonderful makers from our arts community. Let's give it up for them. And we want to talk about how a community television station builds community. And that's not just making a podcast or a radio show or whatever, or a television show. It's also, how do we build community where we're actually helping people get the word out about what they do? Whatever mechanism that takes. And there's a lot of ways that we can help you. So if you're a nonprofit and you're watching right now, if you are, let's say, you're an organization, or maybe you're just John or Jane Q Public and I want to be a part of something. Maybe you don't have an idea for a show, but you want to be a part of something. Or you are a part of something. You're part of an organization. You're part of an educational group, a government group. And you're like, man, I really need to learn how to do better, to get the word out about what I do. Come on down here today. We're going to show you. I got Jazzy in the front. I got Zoe back here, and I got Kelly, and they'll show you all of our facilities, and they'll show you different ways that you can get involved. And I know I'm going to sound like a salesman. Ready? If you act now, we're going to make it easy on you, because what we're going to do is we're going to give you a free workshop. And we're going to have little mini workshops even today. So if you tune in and you hang out with us, you're going to get to meet some of these fabulous makers. You're going to meet some of our programmers, and you're going to get an opportunity to really check out what it is, what a community media center is all about. Okay? Does that sound like fun, guys? All right, so without further ado, I have 3 people on the couch here with me, and I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourself one by one. Let's start with the closest to me. Hello, pal.
Hi, pal.
What's your name, and tell us your deal.
My name is Pal Mel, and I am the owner and the creator of the funnest exercise program for children in the world. It's called Pallersize Adventures in Fitness for 3 to 8-year-olds, and I've been contracting to preschools for the past 30 years.
Wow. And you got a new TV show that we're going to talk about, right? Woo! All right, so hang on to that thought, Mel. We're going to come right back to you. Right in the middle. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Deanna Adams. I'm from Moss Beach, and I love making sun catchers.
Oh,
so
my goodness. That's some of your artwork, Deanna?
A little bit of my artwork. I treasure hunt.
Look, and Donkey Kong is right on the bottom. He's caught that. That's beautiful.
And collect these treasures to make them, and then I also teach people how to make them.
So this is amazing. So we got a Pacifican, we got a Moss Beachian. Can I say that? Is that a thing?
Beachian.
A Moss Beachian.
Yes.
Got it.
Good thing I was here.
And who do we have here on the end? Hi.
Hi, I'm Colleen from the Peninsula Humane Society and SPCA. We are sort of San Francisco, San Mateo, and Santa Clara counties for our wildlife operation.
Wow.
And have a bunch of different programs. I'm here today with Mayru, one of the
Okay,
pet
we're gonna
assisted
get that
therapy
picture.
dogs.
We're going to
They
get
go
him.
with their human companions. We certify the teams, and they go into hospitals and libraries, and kids read to them and make all sorts of advances. They go into hospice settings, and we just see them bring a lot of joy and a lot of relief and ease to people.
So, ladies, I'm going to play a little game here with you today, and I'm going to start talking to you a little bit about what we do, but I want to talk to you about what you do. And I want to talk about why it's important to have a resource like PCT. And by the way, just not for nothing, folks, but it's not just PCT, right? We've got the local newspaper, which we are trying to hang on to. It's gone to an all-digital format, right? But Half Moon Bay, Coastside, right? Coastside Media Group, and then also in Pacifica, we've got the Pacifica Tribune. But guys, you know, there's Half Moon Bay Radio as well. So it's not just PCT. But I want to talk about if we're trying to build an infrastructure of how to get the word out about all the valuable things that we do, I want to talk about what that looks like for you or what you could imagine it could be. But let's first start, Mel, let's start with you. And let's talk about Pallersize. Now, I just teased, folks, we're getting ready to create the Pallersize TV show, which would be a half-an-hour show, right, on PCT.
Right,
Talk to me
right.
about what that would be and who's the target market, who's the audience for this?
So, 3 to 8-year-old children, and I have different characters with Pallersize.
But what is it? If to act like I've never heard of it before, what is Pallersize?
Pallersize is a 45-minute exercise program that incorporates PAL manners, PAL language, and the PAL imagination. So we say think, bink, wink to turn on our PAL imagination and then go on whatever fun adventure we're doing, which this month is Cinco de Pal, and the summer is Pal Pirates. And then Mr. Bones gets involved in October with the Halloween pumpkin routine.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to translate. So the idea, the core of it is an exercise program for kids.
Correct.
Now, let me ask you this question. Why is it so important that we have an exercise? Aren't kids just whirling dervishes? Why would we need an exercise program for 3 to 8-year-olds?
Because I am their first experience of exercise. I am instilling in them a belief that exercise is fun. Exercise isn't work. Oh man, I have to go work out. Exercise is fun, and exercise is huge in all of our lives. For exercise is very, very big.
A body in motion is a healthy body.
Yeah, it did a lot for me as a teenager or a youngster, got me out of feeling depressed. And if I don't work out for 3 days, that's my limit. I feel it. I'm like, ugh. Then I'm like, oh, what's wrong? I'm like, I didn't exercise. It's so important for health.
But even for little kids.
Yes, it's very important.
And I think nowadays, am I right, Mel? So many kids, let's face it, they get parked in front of the TV or they get parked in front of the screen, and that's
Right.
their babysitter. And
Which
so they're just
is
doing this all day.
why it's so important for me and Mr. Bones to get out there. So to solve the problem that parents have of children being sedentary in front of videos, and what I have to offer is really fun, and it's all about positivity. In this month's routine, we play getting rid of the yuckies. So I teach children how to get rid of yucky thoughts and feelings and think positive. Give yourself a hug when you wake up in the morning. It's so awesome. And PAL language, have a palrific day and anything's palpable.
So what I'm going to do, Mel, I'm going to have you pass the mic. And by the way, Steve, if we can get a little bit in the overheads, because I don't think anybody can hear us back there. I don't need it to be super loud in here, but if we can get a little bit of overhead, so that people can hear, because this is important even for the people in the room to be hearing. So if I could get a little bit of the overhead, that'd be helpful. So same question. Let's talk about art. Now, as we know, if anybody's been watching the news, Pacifica, the city of, and I think I see a couple of city council members out here, but if we could get just a little bit more, Steve. Thank you, buddy. I know that they're talking potentially, we'll see. I don't want to get too excited, but the idea of possibly shutting down the Sanchez, I know it used to be Sanchez Concert Hall, but the Art Center and the Mildred Owen Concert Hall, which Mildred Owen was a dear friend of mine, and we were both on the chamber board together, and we all know about how that has got the community concerned, right? Obviously, the idea, if you haven't heard, is that they might utilize, the city might want to utilize that space as a for housing, because we're in need of affordable housing. So these are both needs. But just, if you would, talk to me about the art piece. And I know that for you, you're in Moss Beach, so that wouldn't necessarily affect you. But talk to me about the effect that art has on our soul, and the beautiful dream catchers and things like that that you create, and why that's more than just an aesthetic, a pleasure to look at. But why is what's more there about art, in your opinion?
I love art. I actually loved my art teacher in high school, that I went back to high school and took the third year of art because I missed out unless I asked the office if I could go back. It is that important. And my brother credits me for him being an artist because I'd come home from my art class and teach him what I learned. So it is very important. And as a busy person, I find such pleasure in finding inspirational pieces to make my sun catchers. And I did participate at the Sanchez Art Center for SVOS, Silicon Valley Open Studios, the first weekend.
Beautiful.
It was amazing. I have a table where I teach people how to make sun catchers, so they can come and use all my supplies and go away with something they've made themselves. I think art is very important,
I've done it. I've made 3 different crystals at 3 different events with her, and it's so fun.
So you're not just making the art and selling it, but you're teaching others how to do it.
Yep, I've taught at the Senior Center in Half Moon Bay.
And what is therapeutic about that? What's cathartic about that for people when they're actually working with their hands and they're creating art?
Look at your face. You're smiling.
Yeah.
It brings joy. And it's a release. It's creativity. It's fun. People make gifts for other people, which is wonderful to give.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, giving is great. So
Yeah.
that's
My
something.
fortune cookie last night said, if you always give, you will always have.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So bottom line is, it's good for the soul.
It is. I always am looking for inspiration. I do it with my mom. We go on adventures together, and we'll find pieces that we come home and we have fun with.
Now, you got your setup here today. So again, folks, if you're just tuning in and you're watching us live on May the 24th, and Jason, feel free to put that full screen graphic up. Again, you're watching us live, and if you want somebody else to watch, they can watch PacificCoast.tv, Channel 26, Channel 27. And Jason, if you would put that full screen, thank you so much. So you can watch on Channel 26 and 27, and you can come down here. We're here live. So you can come down here. We're at 580 Crespi Drive, 2 to 5 p.m. And I've got a wonderful group of artists out here. I've got some folks from the city of Pacifica that came down here. I'm very excited to tell you. This is fun, people. This is fun. So bring your booty down here. If you're looking for something to do and you don't want to go out of town and you don't want to get on the highways, come down here. And if you are out of town, you want to go somewhere, this is the spot. This is the spot. Okay, Colleen, same question for you, dear. Talk to me about what the Humane Society and the SPCA do and why it's so critical. Why is it so vital what you guys do?
Well, we're an open door shelter, which is a little bit unusual. We don't turn away any any regardless of size, age, species, we'll accept anything that comes to our door.
Not just cats and dogs.
Yeah, we've got snakes, bearded dragons,
Turtles.
rabbits, turtles. The turtles have been very popular lately. Ducklings are in our wildlife operation. That's unusual too of what we
Yeah.
do. We rehab wildlife that get rescued. And so we get them how they need to be. Some of them need a little work to get adopted. They work with our behavior staff. Some of them need medical help before they're adoptable. And then we've got a wonderful adoption staff that will interview you with the goal of matching you with a great pet. You know, people can go look at our pets available on our website at phs-sbca.org and look at all the dog. We keep that very up to date with the dogs, cats, all the others I mentioned, birds, parakeets, something for everybody. And then come on down. They can come pretty much any day, 11 to 6, and just browse if they like at our place in Burlingame. Yeah, we got kittens are starting to come in. It's kitten season. Ramping up.
Season.
Yeah, we just had a kitten nursery where we get kittens so young they have to be syringe fed. We had a shower for them. People brought gifts, little food and things. Yeah, so they'll all be adoptable soon.
Well, I don't know, man, but if you go behind Sam's Chowder House, there's like 40 feral cats right behind there. But I have to happen to believe those are the best fed cats on the peninsula because they're eating that clam chowder. I think they're eating well, but they're a little skittish of people. But there's a whole colony of them back there. Have you noticed that?
I have
you
not
been
seen
over there?
them. I'll have to go have a look.
It's right there on the highway, right behind Sam's Chowder House. If you go right there on the walkway, you'll see them. They're all there.
Nice.
But but again, to the value of it and the importance of it, can you speak just a little bit more to that?
I can. You know, almost every day, our adoption staff will forward emails they get. Like daily, I read about people a week later, a year later, 6 months later, 5 years later, about what the pet they adopted from us has meant to them, to their families. Sometimes they say, you know, it brought us comfort in a time of grief. Whatever it was, it's all different things. Or we didn't even know what this animal would bring to our family. And speaking of exercise, people get out and meet their neighbors. Sometimes they tell us, you know, it's a very social activity when you're walking your dog, you know. Sometimes it's easier to kind of engage with people when through the pets sometimes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell people that on June 7th, we're joining California Adopt a Pet Day with $0 adoption fees for all the available animals in the shelter.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's
really
beautiful.
good.
And, you know, I'm going to say just in my own mind, you know, when I'm talking about the SPCA and thinking about what you do with the Humane Society, it really occurs to me that so many animals are so much in need. And, you know, we all have to understand that we're all living here together. Many of the houses that are built on these hills, I mean, that's their home, right? The birds, the bobcats, right? The coyotes, you know, the raccoons, like all the different animals that live here. This was their home before it was ours. And we have to understand, if you've got a bobcat in your backyard or you've got a raccoon problem, you're in their neighborhood. They're not in yours. You know what I mean? And I think it's important for us to understand that, so that when you do see displaced animals, a lot of the times it's because of what we've done that has displaced them, right?
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you're bringing up wildlife, because it is also kind of the season for wildlife. And a lot of people don't know we also have a wildlife operation, quite a substantial one, and they can bring. We treat sick, injured, or orphan wildlife. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes people are trimming their trees right about now and they inadvertently get a nest, you know, things like that. So we have hummingbirds so tiny, they're like jelly bean size. And we try not to imprint on them and, you know, just give them the care they need. And we've got a wildlife care facility that just opened in Saratoga, state of the art. And once the animals get their care, they're able to recover out there in nature. They have little pools for the ducklings out there, and the woodpeckers are out there with wild woodpeckers, and then we release them to the wild. So it's pretty exciting. But if people encounter injured injured animal, they can bring it to our Burlingame facility, and we transport them once they're stabilized to Saratoga for treatment. We have a South Bay facility as well. Yeah.
Ladies, I think that what each of you are doing is absolutely phenomenal. I know that you probably have to run, but if you don't, we're gonna be here all day, guys, from 2 to 5. And I want you to know that you're welcome to come back on. I'm going to have you bring Mr. Bones on, your sidekick. So Pal Mel has a pal called Mr. Bones, who you got to meet. He's like her. If she's the Johnny Carson, he's the Ed McMahon.
He's the backbone of Powder Size.
He's the backbone of the
backbone
situation.
of
And
my
then, Martin,
company.
before we go, can
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just invite everybody to our Bark and Brew Fest? It's because it's a what's not to like? You pay $50, drink beer, and it all goes to the shelter animals. Those ones I was mentioning.
I love it. When's it happening?
June 28th, 2 to 5. It's a dog-friendly event. Come by yourself. It's a friendly crowd. Bring a friend. Bring your dog. 2 to 5, West Washington Park in Burlingame.
I'm there, but give me the website so we can get more info.
It's the best URL in the world.
I wanna go.
phs-spca.org/beer. Go
Wait,
on there
say
and
it
get your
again.
ticket. phs-spca.org/beer, as in
PHS, as in Pacifica Humane Society.
Peninsula Humane Society.
Peninsula.
That's okay.
I
PHS-SPCA.
got Pacifica on my brain today. What's going
You're
on?
good.
Peninsula Humane, PHS.
-spca.org/beer.
Beer.
Yeah, go on there and
Not
get your
Mary
ticket.
beer, the beer that you drink. B-E-E-R.
Yeah.
Okay,
Come on down
got
with
it.
your dog.
Same question.
What was the
How
question?
do we get a hold of you?
My email is bawanababe@yahoo.com.
Spell that.
BWANABE@yahoo.com. And I'm on Instagram,
Okay, what's your Instagram handle?
coastal _sun_ catchers.
Coastal _sun_ catchers on Instagram. All right, so go there and check it out. Same thing, pal Mel. And by the way, Mel, you need a microphone to be heard, honey.
Thank you.
I know.
So Powder Size is spelled P-A-L, like pals, E-R, pal-er, size like big small, S-I-Z-E, not like exercise, P-A-L-E-R-S-I-Z-E, big small. Powdersize@gmail.com. You can find me on every platform you can imagine, all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok,
You name
Twitter,
it. Power
X,
Size.
yeah.
And by the way, we're going to bring you back on. We're going to talk to Mr. Bones here in a little bit. So, guys, here's what I want to do next. We're going to take a little bit of a break so I can go out here and meet and say hi to some of the people that are here today. Hi, guys. Good to see you. I see the last mayor of Pacifica, last year's mayor of Pacifica is here. There she is.
Woo!
Hey.
Woo! 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 Woo!
And wait, and there's 2 years ago's mayor. And, hey, if you guys want to meet some politicians and retired politicians. Oh, there's Mary. Hi, Mary. Mary Beer with a I-E-R, not E-E-R. We were just talking. Anyway, this is the spot. Please come down. Please say hi. We're going to run out to a little bit of a break, but on these breaks, pay attention because we're going to give you little workshops. We're going to give you a little bit more stuff. A little bit more there about what PCT does. Jason, if you can line me up about 10 minutes of a break, we'll be right back. Stay right there and tell people PacificCoast.tv, Channel 26 Pacifica, Channel 27 Half Moon Bay Coastside, worldwide, Roku, Apple TV, YouTube, you name it. Tell somebody that they want to tune in, or better yet, get your booty down here. We'll see you right back here. Stay right there. Good job, guys.
Woo, 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 woo. Have a palrific day.
Okay, thank you. Now, if you don't.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rudy Evenhouse, and welcome to What's Hot Pacifica, which is a show that is about everything awesome in Pacifica. Today, we're talking about how you can create your own show and make an outline for it. So, the first part about creating an intro, the first part about creating a TV outline is to create the intro. It could be a series of images or videos. And here, how about my technical director brings up an example intro from one of PCT's shows, What's Hot Pacifica. How about we bring that right up? All right, here you can see, this is what an intro looks like. It could have music, text, maybe even announcing. You want to let your audience know what you're going to talk about on the show. And it's important to create an intro that can be used for every show for easy reusability. Now, the next thing on our list is the opening tease. And as you know, as we're talking, Jordan's going to bring up some videos of the actual TV outline for this video show. And it'll show you what we're looking at now is the opening tease for this show. Now let's talk a little bit about what the opening tease is. It explains to your viewers what you are going to talk about. It's a hook. It gets your audience excited for your show. And it includes what's coming up on your show, and it gets your audience's attention. This is important in today's digital age where people can click away if they get bored. Now, the next thing on our list is segments. Segments are sections of your show, typically centered around a topic. They could be either live or pre-produced. Set up each segment by announcing what it is about. You can either have one host, two hosts, or you can do an interview. Now, you're going to want to use B-roll on your segment, which are images and videos that are about what you are discussing. Now, Jordan, could you please bring up an example of B-roll? So here is an example of B-roll highlighting shots of our lovely coastside. All right. So now, to keep it interesting, you can even switch camera shots and bring in your B-roll. Now, the second to last part of your show is the outro/wrap. You're going to want to conclude what you are talking about, thank any of your guests, and say goodbye to your audience. You could even tease them about what you're going to be talking about in the next episode. Now, the last thing you want on your TV show outline is credits. You want to credit those who have helped you make your show at the end. Those could be your director, your distributor, even your guests. And you can create your credits on a video editor of your choice. An example of some credits that hopefully Jordan could bring up are these credits, which are for our intern-produced show, Coast Life, which is about all things happening on the coast side. Later, we're going to talk about how you could become a Pacific Coast TV intern, increase your video production skills, and help make shows like this. So, now you know everything you need to write your own TV show outline. If this sounds like something you are interested in, you can give us a call. Contact Pacific Coast TV at 650-355-8000 or visit us on our website, pacificcoast.tv, and they can help you make your show a reality. And they could even get you involved in workshops or do an internship to boost your video production skills. Thank you all so much for watching, and good luck with your show.
PCT covered the Kahuna Kapuna Surf Competition on Saturday. Here's a quick recap of some of the day's winners.
First place, Tom Radich. And in first place, Anya Arthur. Second place, Steve Baker. And in first place, Sean Scally. And in first place, Carrie Kemp-Gardner. All right. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Join PCT on August 6th for the World Dog Surfing Championships. We'll see you there.
It may be hard to believe, but Pacific Coast Television has been serving the coastside since 1968.
In Pacifica, it turned out, there was in fact a TV class at Oceana High School. And what wound up happening from there was this gal that was working with them said, hey, let's get our own little studio here in Pacifica. Studio 70 then became really the first local cable station here in town, becoming one of the first, if not the first, cable station in the country.
So Rick Miller is going to get a chance to kick Terranova into a good shot here. Now if he gets a good punt off, he can give the pressure on Oceana.
Broadcasting with heavy, old black and white cameras, PCT covered the Pacifica oil spill and won an Emmy in 1972. Amazingly, the oldest person on the crew was only 15.
There was a giddy freedom about the place. So anything that we thought was interesting and fun and colorful or new, we just covered it.
By the 1990s, PCT had become a destination site for interns and broadcast students from across the Bay Area, and saw its schedule filled with imaginative award-winning shows and local government coverage.
Very proud of our Channel 26.
People at Channel 26 invited me down to work on the auction, and I had a blast, and hopefully we raised a little bit of money for Channel 26.
All right, everybody, we are back. You are watching, if you're watching at home, a live open house for Pacific Coast TV. Give it up for yourselves for being here. You guys are amazing. Hey, and by the way, how about all these wonderful artists? Can we give it up for all these makers? Which I'm going to have something to say about that, and I know one of our esteemed panelists here are going to have something to say about that in a moment, because a lot of people are worried about the arts right now, and perhaps the worry is a little premature, a little misplaced. Let's talk about it in a moment. But before we do that, I want to make mention of a couple of things here. You know, the thing about a community media center and Pacifica Community Television, as it was known back in the 1960s, right, is now Pacific Coast TV. So we're all grown up. We're serving many parts of the county now. And dare I say that with what's going on in the media right now, it's never been more critical that we have community media. It's never been more critical that we have a gathering place. Look, Mary, you guys have heard me say this before. You know, when they gave us the freedom of speech, when they codified that, right, into the Constitution, what they didn't give us was a megaphone. Right? At that, in 1776, what it meant, what free speech meant, was you could get on an apple crate in the middle of town and hopefully somebody wouldn't throw tomatoes at you, right? Or apples. That'd be even worse. But what it means now, what does it mean now, 200 and almost 50 years later? What does freedom of speech mean? What does it look like? A lot of people think, well, we have social media. Fraught. It's fraught. I can do an entire dissertation on the problems and the societal ills of social media. I won't, but suffice it to say that with the way social media is constructed right now, there are a lot of ills that happen as a result for our children and for our communities, because what social media at its core is set up to do, the way it gets eyeballs, the way it promulgates eyeballs, is to, unfortunately, amplify those things that make us the angriest and that divide us. And that has a lot of negative consequences. Whereas community media, and by the way, PCT is the oldest community television station on the planet. There are now over 30 countries that have community media. I've had people that have come here from Ireland. I have had people that have come here from Japan. I've had people that come here from all over Europe that wanted to learn from the oldest community media center in the United States how this thing is done, what it could look like when it's functioning properly. When you have people that can sit there and have discourse and conversation and share ideas as opposed to retreating to their silos and repeating an endless loop so that it's hard to find out what even is true. And that's the problem that we're facing right now. Social media is just one of the problems, but that's the problem that we're facing in society. I'm not saying it's a panacea, but part of the antidote to that is community media, is PEG, public education and government television. And more now as we move into the future, media. Because what is television? You know, if you think about cable TV, if you think about television, if you think about all the different platforms, I mean, we get just as many viewers now online and in different kind of, as you might say, not exactly a linear, but non-linear kind of viewing. We have people that view us on Roku, Apple TV, on different ways and means. And we just yesterday, I had a good conversation with Jim Henderson of Half Moon Bay Radio, and we're going to be running that in a little bit here. But we even talked about the value of, believe it or not, a little old school. We're going a little old school here. How many people remember ham radio? Ham radio is still alive and kicking. And look, when the cable goes out, God forbid there's an earthquake or there's something that knocks your cable out, who's your early warning system then, right? So we're talking about ways and means that we can collaborate with the newspaper, with ham radio operators, with all of the different platforms. And so I don't look at community media as just, okay, we're on cable. That's the way we get paid because of the way franchise fees work and the way we're able to fund this. And it certainly is the way a majority of people view it, but it's not the only way, and it's not the only way that you can participate in the dialogue. So just keep that in mind when we're talking, because really what it means, folks, is it means that everybody has a voice. And again, First Amendment to the Constitution, freedom of speech. What does that look like in an interconnected world? And what does it look like when you have so many gatekeepers that are trying to decide and determine what you do see and whether or not that's truth or whether or not it isn't? So just keep that in mind, because this is a theme that we're going to continue to refer back to. It's a theme that we've referred back to for the last 50 years here at PCT. And it's something that we want everybody to be involved in. We're your community media center, and that means you're the community. It doesn't happen without you. So please do yourself and me a big favor and get involved, and we appreciate you in advance. By the way, 650-355-8000, that's the phone number if you want to give us a call. We're going to give you a reason to give us a call, because we're going to put you in a free podcasting workshop. You guys heard me over there, makers. We want you guys to get the word out, so please do yourself a favor, and let's talk about this free podcasting workshop. Okay, one more announcement, and then I promise I got to get to this wonderful panel here. One of the things that we've been doing lately is we've been doing a series of town hall meetings, okay, about very, very important issues in our community. And these aren't necessarily political hot potatoes or like sea level rise. These are all things that we're obviously interested in, things that we're talking about, and things that we're filming, like the recent sea level rise where they wanted to put the break out there. By the way, ladies, how did that? Was that an informative session?
Artificial reefs.
Artificial reefs. Okay, so. That is all stuff that you can find on our website. You can find it on VOD. But the other thing that we've been doing is a series of town hall meetings about important issues that we all need to know about. And one of them, and I know this is near and dear to your heart, Mary, is about the issue of opioid overdoses. So what I have here, this is fentanyl. Basically, what it looks like if you bust this box open, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to. I want this to be used by somebody.
It's Narcan.
What's that?
It's Narcan.
This is Narcan. What did I say? Did I say
you did,
fentanyl?
you did.
So what this is it's Narcan. What it does is if you are experiencing a fentanyl overdose, this helps you so that you can come out of it. And this might not be you, and it might not be somebody you know, but if you keep this in your car, think about this. Mary, you know this because you were in the same workshop I was, and because you've been doing work around this. But Mary, and I meant to say Narcan, this stuff will help you if you're having an opioid overdose, which includes fentanyl and a lot of other opioids. But if you get a trace amount, think about this. Let's say you're working down at Lit, right? You're a bud tender, or you're working at Breakers, and you're taking money, and there's a trace amount of fentanyl or some very powerful opioid, and it's on the cash. You get that, and you absentmindedly wipe your nose. It can happen. These things have happened. This organization based out of Pacifica called HOPE has been distributing free Narcan through a variety of sources, and we're one of them. So if you want to come down here today, if you don't listen to anything else I say, but you just want to get a free box of Narcan so that you can have that in your car, have it in your purse, carry it with you, you never know when it might be useful. And Mary, can I just toss it over to you? Because I know you've got a lot to say on this issue.
I do, actually. Thank you, Marty.
By the way, this
appreciate
is
it.
Mary Beer, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Sitting City Council member of
Thank you.
Pacifica. Hi, Mary.
Hi. I'm also the Director for Alcohol and Other Drug Services at the Daly City Youth Health Center, which is part of Jefferson Union High School District, and we are working hand in hand with HOPE, which makes me very happy because, you know, when things happen in our communities, when young people die and people come together for a solution, it's very beautiful. But there is something I want to say about the Narcan and about opioid overdose, because a lot of folks are saying, well, if you're handing out Narcan, you're actually encouraging drug use, right? And I want to be very, very clear that in our prevention world, we're very concerned about poisoning. And so young people who are experimenting for the first time get a pill. There's a little bit of fentanyl in it that was created in some street lab. This is not the stuff at the hospital. And young people are dying right away. And so if we have Narcan on us and somebody passes out in front of us, you can give them Narcan, a couple shots, one in one side, one in the other, and it'll help them come out, because what it does is it interrupts the opioid receptor cells, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it. It's a miracle drug. It all it does is it gets right in the way of the signal from the opioid to the opioid receptor cell. So it can't hurt you. Like I could use it right now. It would not hurt me.
Yeah, that's the thing. So Mary, we have to underscore that point. First of all, so many innocent people die of opioid
poisoning.
Poisoning. They're not using it. Like I said, the example that I gave, you're at a local. You're just doing your job, and you happen to come in contact with it because it's on somebody's bill, or you shake somebody's hand, and you don't realize, and the next thing you know, you're on the ground. And let's say somebody's having an opioid poisoning situation, right? Maybe it's any number of drugs. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're an addict. That doesn't, a lot of people, we tend to kind of get on our moral high horse about this issue. But believe me, there are tens of thousands of people that suffer every year, and many who die, and they had done nothing. There was no act of commission on their part other than they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And this can stop that, and this can help you. And can we get a shot of this? Can we get a close-up of this, guys? Because I wanted you to see what it looks like. Because it just looks like, maybe like if you've got, if you use not an inhaler, but I call them sniffies. What's the nasal spray or whatever? And you know what the side effects are from it, Mary?
Nothing.
Nothing. So if you give this to somebody who's not having an opioid overdose, guess what? nothing happens.
But if you give it to someone who is having an opioid overdose and they are addicts, they're going to come out of it in withdrawal. So they're going to have a ton of symptoms after they take it. But
But you've
it's
saved their
safe.
life.
Yeah, for sure.
So, folks, this is very important. The name of the organization that does this is Hope. And again, if you go on our video on demand, or if you go on YouTube and you type in Pacific Coast TV and Hope, you'll find all the information. You'll find a longer version of what we're talking about here. And by the way, if you want to get some of this Narcan, please do that. I was calling it fentanyl. You're not coming here to get fentanyl. You're coming here to get Narcan, which is, if somebody's having a fentanyl overdose, it is going to save their life. So with that said, I do want to say hello to the rest of our panel here. And Mr. Dave Canepa, I want to thank you for coming down, buddy. I know you got a lot of things you could be doing with your holiday weekend. Dave, of course, is the president of the San Mateo Board of Supervisors. Please give it up.
Thank you very much.
A lot of other things that you could be doing besides being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much. You know, Marty, I just really want to thank you and PCT for their leadership. Community television is so critically important. You know, I remember when I was growing up in Pacifica, I grew up in Sharp Park. My sister lives in the house that I grew up in, but I grew up on sound waves. But PCT really provided critical information. I would say it's very objective, and that's sort of the news, the local news that's really critically important on the ground. So I just really want to recognize you. I want to recognize the staff behind the cameras and others. The work that you do is extraordinarily profound. So thank you for all you do. Let's give it up.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Dave, for saying that. Now, Sue Vaterlos, who was the mayor of Pacifica just, 2 short years ago, right? Last year. All right. Well, I got to tell you, Sue, I feels like you're still on council, because she almost jumped on the set here because I was talking. Okay, so we got to talk, Sue. So let me just set this up. So I get an email, right, and it's hair on fire, right, because people are very concerned, and I talked about it at the top with the local arts community, because the Sanchez Arts Center on Lindemar, right, which has been there for how many years now? I mean, it was a school, it was Sanchez School, and then when it was decommissioned, I thought smartly and amazingly, it was turned into a community center specific to the arts, and of course, the Mildred Owen Concert Hall is there, and we've done so many PCT honors there, and so many programs just ourselves, and so many wonderful musicians and arts groups and organizations utilize this facility, and people are worried that it might go away because Pacifica is in a need for housing. So first of all, if you could do me a favor, what's this housing issue that we're having?
Okay. First of all, you can't believe everything you read on the internet. It's not always
Is she on?
true.
Is her mic on? Because I don't hear her on the overhead. Go ahead, switch with Dave there. There we go. All right, go ahead.
What you read on the internet is not necessarily true, and a lot of times people jump to conclusions. Every city has to provide a housing element. Our housing element requires us to indicate where we could possibly build 2,000 housing units in the next 8 years.
And does this have to be affordable, or is it just across the board, 2,000 housing units?
There are affordable recommendations. There are specific categories of each. Well, the Sanchez Arts Center belongs to the city of Pacifica. The land belongs to the city of Pacifica. And recently, they're redoing the housing element to make sure that everything is correct in there. We discussed it at least 5 council meetings, which are on PCT. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for doing it.
We need you to be here.
We know what it's like to stay up late nights, don't we?
We do.
That's why the county is smart, putting their meetings at like 9:30 in the morning, right?
We stay up very late. But there was an indication on the internet that Sanchez Art Center was going to be torn down. It is nowhere said that it's going to be torn down. When they did the housing element, when we all did the housing element, it went to planning, it went to council over and over. The area that is possibly going to be built on is around the edge of Sanchez Art Center. It is not Sanchez Art Center. And in fact, on the map, it shows that they're leaving a field there because they're not even indicating the whole outside of the center to be built on. So one of the things that I always say is cities don't build. Cities don't have the money to build. So it would require a developer to come in and want to build in this specific location around the outside of Sanchez Art Center. And some of our other locations are similar. In a shopping center, we don't own the shopping center, but we had to indicate where developers could possibly come in and build housing. That's all it is. No one has said that it was going to be torn down.
And by the way, there's a big or else if we don't get 2,000 units, and I don't know where that's going to come from, but we stand to lose valuable state funding if we don't. Is this correct, Mary?
That is correct. And our housing element hasn't been certified yet. And so because it hasn't been certified, there's something that's called builder's remedy, which helps developers come in and make their way through some of the things that were in place before in order to get their...
So like infill?
Yeah. Well, it just gets their project over the finish line faster, and that's what we don't want. We want to retain local control, right?
Right.
I'll just comment one thing, maybe two, about the Sanchez Art Center. So long ago, there was a visionary group of people who came together and they had a vision of what they wanted, right, for the Sanchez Art Center.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. And so I don't see why we can't do that again. There's always ways to have visions and
renewal.
Yeah, and we're putting language in there. So it's in front of the Planning Commission now, and then it'll come back to council. So I can't say much more, but they had a vision once, and it worked.
And we all need the art center.
And we love it.
Love the art center. We see the importance of having the art center for Pacifica.
I don't think there's anybody in Pacifica that doesn't want an art center, right? I mean,
I agree.
There's no other side of that debate, right?
There
It's
is
not a
no
debate,
other
right?
side.
Yeah.
There is no other side.
Well, that makes me feel good to know because we had so many artists here today, and there were so many artists that have called me in the last week going, ooh, ooh, ooh. So if you're an artist or if you're maybe a tenant, right, at the Sanchez Art Center, you can breathe easy, is what I'm hearing here. And know that, there might be a developer that would come in and build around and near, but not to displace you. And by the way, not for nothing, but I think I hear what you're saying. If I'm picking up what you're saying, Mary, the idea is that, let's face it, this was an old school. It's a very old facility that was an elementary school for how long, and then got repurposed into an art center, which was brilliant. But there are opportunities as we move forward into the 2000s here. I mean, we're a quarter of the way through this century. I mean, there may be new ways and means that come down the pipe that allow us to even think proactively about what a future art center might look like and what that might be for the community. Just the way we do for the libraries, just the way we did here 2 years ago, or was it 3 now? We were facing an existential crisis because this place got condoized and it got sold. So we were facing possibly moving into the Sanchez. That was one of the options on the table. But the space needs are such that for us, it was a deal where we had to they're not manufacturing too many new spaces for what we do on this side of the peninsula, on this side of the hill, let alone in Pacifica. So we had to really kind of think proactively, think outside the box. It was because of the city of Pacifica, the city of Half Moon Bay, and the county, in large part, that we're actually even still able to sit here in this space right now and have these conversations. So, folks, these kinds of problems do have solutions, and you've got people here that want to do that. Dave, we've kind of been bogarting the conversation here a little bit. What's on your mind? What's going on at the county? What do you want to talk to us about? Is there something that you want people to get active with right now?
Yeah, I just think it's critically important as we move forward. I think the board has made it very clear on the issues that we want to prioritize. Obviously, as mentioned, affordable housing continues to be an important part of that. I think when we look at mental health, as you know, San Mateo County is one of only 8 counties in the state of California that runs a county hospital. And so really, obviously we know there are some challenges from the federal government to Medicaid. We have about 43,000 people here in San Mateo County that are on Medicare. And so we're really concerned about what could potentially happen at the federal government because that could have an adverse effect. We actually have our own health plan of San Mateo, which you'd be rather surprised. We're the second healthiest county in the state of California, the third wealthiest in the United States, but we have about 125,000 people who use our health plan of San Mateo, and our total population in the county is 790,000. And so we look at, sort of all of that, and we don't know what's going to happen. The state government, we're looking at potentially $12 billion budget shortfall. And so what we've been really able to do is with our finances, this year we'll be adopting a $5.4 billion budget. But because of this board and previous boards, our reserve is pretty healthy. Now, that being said, San Mateo County is in risk in cities to lose about $120 million. And that's through VLF, vehicle license fee, and so an excess ERAF. And so we have these challenges ahead of us, but at the same time, I think all of us are acutely aware that the county, as well as the cities, has really been able to work collaboratively on many, many issues. And I think when you look at 20 cities, you look at 20 towns, you look at one county, we really sort of are a beacon of hope for other regions in terms of how to get things done. And so there are challenges, but I'm really optimistic of what the future can bring.
That's a lot, man. That's quite a bit. But I tell you what, I'm heartened to hear that we have leaders like you guys. By the way, Sue, speaking of leadership, I mean, you're off to council. What's next for you? What are you doing? You're just out here like the Pied Piper of fun?
Yesterday I attended a Sam Liccardo event about funding for Pacifica for our seawall and the pier. So I am still politically active because really I did this with the city for about 25 years. If you add all of the committees and everything that I was on.
Long before you were on council.
Long before I was on council, and I can't quit. I just have to keep on going.
You got it in your blood.
I do. I have it. I'm going to just keep on going.
Well, you know what? And by the way, folks, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about community activism. We're talking about communities coming together. And it's very easy to sit behind a keyboard and bitch about what you don't like and crab about what you've heard through the grapevine is a problem. And it may or may not be a problem, and it may be a very prescient issue, but it's something else to activate and to start talking to people so that, A, you can get the accurate information, and then you can figure out a plan of action for yourself, because that's what it requires. That's what citizenship requires. I talk to a lot of people about, politics and about, and that's such a bad word nowadays. And a lot of people say, you know what, I don't want to talk about politics. And I'm like, well, I know that it's our right. It's our First Amendment right, freedom of speech. And why? So that we can discuss ideas and so that we can come to solutions. And you're never going to get all of what you want, but you're not going to get anything if you don't activate. And so for those of you at home that, I don't want to get involved, you got to get involved, because if not, you're going to be at the effect of everything. You're not going to get any of what you want if you don't get involved. Right, Mary?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Pacifica, right? We've had a long history of activism, and they've made beautiful changes so that we can see our ridges, right, and all of our open space. And so people come, and they are definite advocates for what they want and what they need, and it works. And it's shown to work.
Yeah.
That's democracy.
Yeah, that's democracy.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, to live in a democracy. You have to activate on your own behalf. Yes.
And sign up for council and planning commission agendas, because that's what tells you what's happening. You may not be interested in Sanchez Art Center, but you might be interested in the seawall. You may be interested in the budget. But if you get those agendas and they're emailed to you for every meeting, you can know what's happening, because often we hear, I never heard about that before. And this particular housing element had 5 public meetings. But because people will say, I never heard of it before,
Democracy didn't just start when you heard about it.
It didn't. So you really do have to pay attention. And like I said, you're not going to be interested in everything going on.
Yeah.
But find the things you are interested in and get involved in those things.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Guys, I just want to thank you for being here. Is there anything that any of you are burning to say that maybe we didn't cover, that maybe might be good in a forum like this to just kind of, underscore a point or something that maybe we didn't talk about?
Well, can I just say something about the county?
Yes.
Because we have a really unusual collaborative county. It's beautiful, and all the agencies come together so well, and all the cities, and that's a reflection of our Board of Supervisors.
Wow.
And you have been working so hard for so long for us.
Yeah,
So
let's
thank
give it
you.
up.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes, indeed.
I just want to say a couple things. First of all, we have some great leaders amongst us, right? And Tip O'Neill said something that was very important. I think we should reference it. All politics is local. And so sometimes people associate government just being the federal government, state government. In your lifetime, in my lifetime, where the most effect is going to be your local officials. And I want to recognize former Mayor Tiger Big Sticks, who's with us today.
Tiger, hi Tiger.
Want to recognize Sue. Sue's done an incredible job, and Mary. And so Pacific has always had great representation, and it's really, for folks out there, civic engagement is important. I know Tiger had served on the Planning Commission. You had served, I think, on the Planning Commission as well. Mary has done incredible work outside of her job through the Daly City Youth Health Center. And so I think being engaged and being involved, sometimes, you don't worry about the federal and state government, but being involved in your own community, it's so much more meaningful and rewarding.
And it'll have ripple effects
and
throughout
everyone,
society, right?
And everyone can do it.
Sure.
You don't need a PhD in government.
Sure.
And so I would just encourage everyone, follow PCT, follow the city council meetings, and really just get involved and engaged in your community. It really is enriching, and it's powerful in a sense, not the term powerful, but what meaningful in the way you can give back. So
yeah,
your talents.
Yeah, the power is in the meaning that we can all bring together. The power is the power of the people, right? And, I don't care what side of the political spectrum you come from. I mean, my best friend in the world is what I deem a Trumper, right? But at the end of the day, he wants to feed his kids. He wants to live in a better world. He has a different idea about how to go about it than I do, and that's why we talk. And guess what? We're still best friends. We're best friends since we were 8 years old. You know what I mean? So, and that's just how you got to be. You can't, you might disagree with people, but you can't just hate. And you can't just sit back behind the keyboard and go and be mean. You got to figure out solutions, and you got to figure out compromises and ways that we can all live together.
And if you talk about podcasts, can you bring me back?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because you have a podcast.
Not me.
Well,
Be the Change Youth Coalition
you have
does. Not me.
helped to facilitate a lot of wonderful young people.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about the trainings here, so bring me back for that.
Well, we're going to bring you back for that, and we're going to talk about it. But meanwhile, can we give it up for these 3 wonderful people?
Thank you.
All right, now before we run away, I got to do something very important here, because I understand that the raffle tickets, that's right, selling raffle tickets. And I've got Cheryl here on our board of directors here at PCT. Everybody give it up for Cheryl Amateur. And Cheryl, let me have you sneak back around behind me here so we can get you in the light. Uh-oh. Let's see. You got a friend with you. I think we're going to...
brought a maker with me.
All right. We got a maker here. Now, what do we got going on here, Cheryl?
So we are selling tickets like hotcakes. We've made over $300 on ticket sales. And I just want to say every single penny of every single dollar you share with us is taken care of and appreciated and never wasted.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll talk about that a little bit later too. But I mean, it costs a lot of money to run a TV station, but certainly we're frugal.
We are frugal. So the exciting thing is, because we're such a dynamic and community-minded thing, the makers of the Coast Side and Pacifica have rallied around me to provide this fun little makers market, and that wasn't enough. They also donated their beautiful art, and I
Give it up for these makers.
So our first item was named
What you got?
Lovely Deanna.
Oh, Deanna, is that the thing that we saw? Oh, no, that's a different one. Okay, very good. Now, I don't know if we can get a close-up of that, but this is a sun catcher, right, Deanna? Yes. And this is absolutely gorgeous. So she's going to sneak on the other side of me, and you tell me about this little piece here. And by the way, Deanna, just give me an idea. How long does it take to do something like this?
Sometimes it takes 2 years. And I'm not kidding. I find pieces and I wait for the additional inspiration for it to come together. So I don't rush it. It's just my love, my passion.
Hard to put a price on that, but I mean, just for our purposes here, do you mind?
$31 for this one is the value, and it's called At the Beach, and it has beach-themed things like an umbrella, a fish, a shell, and a turtle on it.
And somebody's about to be the lucky winner of this thing. Is that what it is?
That's right.
All right, so I'm going to have you sneak over there. And Mary, would you mind? Would you help us do the honors? So you're going to stay here with me, camera 1. And then camera 3 is going to get that. Camera 2 and 3 are going to get that. Oh, here we go. She's going to come back. Wait a minute. Come back here. Who won it? Who won it? Who won it?
Pick my own. That's not fair.
Mary Beer.
No.
Mary Beer. She picked her own. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did somebody? Did I hear fix? Did somebody shout fix?
No,
Did somebody?
we can't be doing that.
Mary is not going. I'm gonna let you know right now that there's no way she's going to allow that to stand. She's not going to allow it. So Mary, go ahead and pick another name. I'm just saying she would not allow it.
I have not bought any tickets myself, so maybe my hand should pull out the next one.
All right. Sorry, Mary. Sorry to do that to you.
Has been buying tickets like crazy. Okay, so Mary Beer.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I'll take it this time.
I kid you not.
Mary, it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
I love the sun catchers. They're so
Because
beautiful.
you light up so many lives. This sun catcher wants to go home with you.
Give it up for them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we'll be back with more, so stay tuned. And if you can't stay tuned, come down here. We'll see you. We're going to be right back. Stay right there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Today we're going to talk about something really important: how to reach a target market. That means finding the right group of people who will care about your product, event, or even message. The first thing you look at is demographic. This means things like age, gender, income, job, and education. For example, you might market something different to teenagers than you would someone who is older. Once you know these basic details, the next step is psychographic. This means learning about your audience interests, the values, and how they live their lives. Let's say your audience is a religious group, then you want to make sure that your content respects their values and avoids offensive language. After that comes geographic. This is where your audience lives. After that comes, do they live in the beach, in a big city, or in the mountains? That can change what kind of things they need or want. If someone lives in Pacifica, which is coastal town, they might need beach wear or outdoor gear. The last thing to think about is the problem or needs of your audience. Are you helping them solve a problem? Are you giving them something useful or entertaining? Even if you are just making a video or promoting an event, Your content should matter to your audience. Are you giving them something useful or entertaining? Knowing your audience helps you speak directly to them in ways that works.
And after you figure out who your audience is, the next step is to learn how to reach them in the right way. One way to do this is by doing research. For example, you can make a simple survey and ask people what they like, don't like, or want more of. Surveys are fast and can give you a lot of helpful information. Another way is using focus groups. This is when a small group of people talk about your product or idea. You can listen to their thoughts and how they respond to each other. It helps you learn that what works and what doesn't. You can also do interviews with one person at a time. This gives you a deeper look at what someone really thinks. Some people might be nervous in interviews, but it can also be really helpful. One more smart thing to do is look at your competition. Who are they trying to reach? What kind of contents are they using? And what is working for them and what isn't? Learn from others can help you improve your own plan. All of this helps you build a stronger message for your audience. The SAC Film Fest and California Film Foundation do this well. They host events, workshops, and film screenings that reflect Sacramento's diverse community. They don't just talk to an audience, they also connect with them.
And the last step is to figure out social media, which is something that the next group will go over.
This year marks PCT's 45-year anniversary. Let's check in with the community to see how we're doing.
Hi, I'm Farrah Walton. My very first internship was with Pacific Coast TV. They taught me so many valuable skills and lessons that I have now taken with me to Abilene, where I am the new weekend anchor and reporter. So thank you, PCT, for teaching me lots of valuable skills.
Hello, I'm Anita Reese with the Pacifica Resource Center, and I am so grateful for the Pacific Coast TV. They are a wonderful resource for the community and are always highlighting the most important things in our community, whether it's in Pacifica or through Half Moon Bay.
Hi, I'm Bob West. Now, you may not know my face, but you may be familiar with this big guy. Hi there. It's me, Barney the Dinosaur. You know, I have been all over the world helping friends, young and old, learn many wonderful things and having fun doing it. That's why I'm here at Pacific Coast Television, because they help people too. PCT has been teaching and entertaining and sharing local meetings and events with their friends in Pacifica and on the coast side since 1977, and that's a long time.
PCT is critical for our communities, all the way down the coast. Right? We have to have community television so people can participate, so they can be civically engaged. Because people can't always make it to our meetings, right? So the only way that they can be civically engaged is to be able to watch the meetings on PCT. And then there's other things at PCT too. There's the podcast booth, there's the media center. My students have taken advantage of it.
I think everyone should have an opportunity and should take the opportunity to come and see what is available to you as a community member at PCT. I always have to check myself and remember it's not Pacifica Community Television, it is Pacific Coast Television. And it's Pacific Coast Television because you've taken on so much work. This organization is bringing democracy into everyone's door.
You're not going to get school board meetings on the local stations, but you can get it at PCTV. The staff is you guys are so awesome, and I love the way it's immediately available for us, and because people will want links to it, can you send it to us? And immediately they can see it. And I have other parents in the district who can't come to meetings, but they watch PCTV, and they can follow along because you have the captions. It tells us exactly what item we're discussing. So it's just been great to have that, and it'd be a real shame to lose it.
PCT is extremely important because we all need to know what's happening in our local government, and they step up, they film so many local municipalities and provide the opportunity for the community to come to different meetings while after physically having to be there. So they need to be here. They're as vital as a local paper. PCT needs to be around. Please help them.
Pacific Coast Television provides a platform for community members to put their shows on TV. Let's take a look at some of the shows produced and aired on PCT throughout the years.
Welcome to the only live primetime musical variety show on the West Coast of the United States.
But she's talking, Lord of fuck, with someone that she really loves. It takes rocks and gravel, make a solid roof.
I got some real good TV tonight.
You ready? This is Soundwaves TV.
Let's welcome Kathy Holly and Spotlight.
Welcome to Straight Talk for Entrepreneurs, where we reveal what it really takes to build a successful business. Hi, I'm Brandon C. White, and this is Build a Business Success Secrets.
I had to do a special, I think I'm going to call this a season finale with my pal of pals. Mary Beer is in the house. How are you, Mary?
If you have an idea for a show and want to get your message out to the world, PCT can make it happen. For more information, please visit pacificcoast.tv and sign up to become a member. Let's make your show a reality.
Hello, world. Coastside, Pacifica. I'm Robbie Bancroft. I'm a co-owner of Breakers, the restaurant in Rockaway Beach. I used to work at the Pacifica Resource Center. I'm on the board of Pacificans Care. I'm also in the band Obsolete Man. And my dream is to play in this studio now that we're back open. But PCT needs your help. We need to keep this station in Pacifica. They do public access. They do the government, which I spoke of, the city council meetings. We all watched that during the pandemic over Zoom. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for PCT. And they also have an educational component. You can come in, you can learn how the media is made. You can be on this side of the camera. You can be on that side of the camera. It's all possible because of PCT. It's all possible because of your support. So please support this station. Support the dreams of the next generation to create just the massive amounts of media to make a difference in this world. PCT needs you now more than ever, so please support them.
This is the first ever Pacifica Pride. About time, but we're making it happen. My name's Katie Brookshire. I own Table Wine Merchant just in Sharp Park with my wife, and this is one of our two kids. After owning a business in town for 8 years and wondering why Pacifica never had a Pride, I kind of just realized nobody had done it. And so I started talking to folks and pushing and asking. And after the last 2 years, I thought this year would be a good time to get everybody together. So I got a hold of the city, and they agreed to help me get things moving. And then myself and some friends and some neighbors and other businesses have really pushed this to become, the first ever Pride Festival.
It's super heartwarming seeing the flag get put up at the community center and seeing so many people gather for queer visibility. And I don't know, I'm just touched because I've not seen this presence in Pacifica come together like this ever before. Mostly, all I feel is support here in Pacifica.
So what does Pride here in Pacifica mean to you?
It means the beginning of supporting and acknowledging all of our LGBTQ family and friends.
Is there a message you would like to send out to the world?
Love is love, love is love, love is love.
We have to be allies, and we have to love each other, and we have to celebrate love.
We're just like everybody else. We can be fun and exciting or boring like any one of you.
It's important that everyone in our community feels represented, included, loved, safe. We need to make sure that this is a community of everybody. And traditionally, that hasn't always been the case. And here in Pacifica, we want to make sure that it's definitely the case.
We have to come together and celebrate love, because life is too short.
Thank you so much for being here.
Surfing is a combination of sport, leisure, and nature. Hi, this is Cristobal Fierros, an intern with Pacific Coast Television. And with the reclosing of gyms, churches, and bars, surfing can be an outlet to cope during the Bay Area's lockdown. We interviewed Todd Johnson from Surf Camp Pacifica and asked him about operating lessons during the pandemic.
So for us, our normal program would go from June 1st through the end of August. This year, due to the whole coronavirus, we were not able to operate at all in June, and our numbers of our camp, our private lessons, we haven't been running our camp at all, which would normally be 30 kids and 15 instructors, 2 sessions a day. We've been cut down to 12 kids in 1 session a day, and they're actually split into 4 small groups. So that those 4 small groups, those kids are only really interacting with their single instructor and the kids that are in their group. And like I said, everybody's got their own space. It's easy to practice 6 feet when we have a whole beach to spread out on, and we're still able to remain a safe distance, also close enough with the instructors that we're being safe out in the water, but still distant enough that we're being safe with the whole regulations. We're out there in nature every day. Obviously, the kids are learning a lot about the tides and the wind and the swell, and kind of putting that all together in their surf day. And they're really getting a strong bond with the environment and our culture as well. Being out there with other surfers and the etiquette that takes to be a part of a surf community, and being safe and having respect for your surroundings, your local other surfers, your equipment and whatnot. It's really nice. They get to be a real part of the surf community. We start at the beginning with, where do waves come from? What makes a wave break? Why does a certain wave break the way it does on a certain day? What the wind does, to the surface of the water and the texture of the wave. Surfing in itself is you're pretty distant from everybody. You're not really, you want to stay away from people as you're actually surfing, for the obvious reason we're not trying to be running into each other, running over each other. But and surfing has been one of the safest activities that people can do in general, just to get out there and let people come in and enjoy the beach.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you.
Oh yeah, we're back, everybody. How you doing out there? How's everybody feeling? Wow, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling good. Now, folks, if you're just tuning in, let me tell you what you're watching. You're watching the 2025 PCT Open House. Now, if you are home and you are watching from home, here's what you need to do. You need to go and get in your car and drive down here. Now, if you are watching from Massachusetts, that's going to be a long commute. So just stay watching. But if you're anywhere close by here, we're in Pacifica today, 580 Crespi Drive. And Jason, I'm going to ask you to put that full screen up. 580 Crespi Drive. We're here from 2 to 5, May the 24th. So if you happen to be watching later, you'll know that because it's May the 24th, 2025. See how that works? But we're going to teach you how to learn podcasting. We're going to teach you how to learn to use the tools of television, of radio, and a lot of other things that I couldn't put on that graphic because I didn't have space to put it. But this is your community media center. This is what community media is all about. It's all about people coming together and learning the tools of communication so that we can do wonderful things like talk about this wonderful, wonderful miracle drug that we, by the way, have here. So if you need a box of this, and you may not think you do, but let me tell you, this is called Narcan, and we just talked about it a little while ago. So if you missed it, let me restate it. If somebody is experiencing an opioid overdose, this brings them out of it. It looks like a little nasal inhaler. That's what it looks like. And you take it, and it immediately pulls them out of an opioid overdose. So, and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, why would I need that? Because you never know. You might be out there. You might be a hero someday. You might have somebody, maybe you're out at the local pub, right? You're at your local eatery, and somebody passed a $20 bill to somebody that had trace amounts of fentanyl on it. And that person absentmindedly wiped their nose. Next thing you know, they're suffering an opioid overdose. Okay? It's nothing that they did. It's nothing that they intended to do. It's nothing that they wanted to do. It happens. It happens every day. People die every day by accident with fentanyl and opioid overdoses. This is a miracle drug. It's called Narcan. If you happen to take it and you're not experiencing an opioid overdose, you know what it does? Mary Beard just said it. Nothing. It has no side effects. All it is a miracle in a box. So come down here and get you some. If you can, if you're within the sound of my voice, come down here and get you some because you never know, you might be a hero. We've got plenty of it. Anybody in the studio that needs it, I've got Jazzy out here and I've got Kelly. They'll show you where to find it. And if you can't find it, come over here. I got it right here. All right. I have a panel here that we're going to talk to in just a moment. We got another group of wonderful people here, but before we do that, I got a young man here, and brother, I gotta talk to you here, because come here, brother. I'm gonna have you. You're gonna be taller than me here, so come on in. Where you at? Oh, there you go. Oh, wait, he's over there. Oh, he's here. He's there. He's everywhere. Oh, wait a minute, he's back here. Okay. All right. First of all, what's your name? And I know it's not Tom Sawyer like your shirt says. Come in a little tighter. It's on TV. It doesn't work unless you're uncomfortably close. You got it like there we go. All right, there you go. All right, what's your name, brother?
My name is Falcon Franco.
Falcon Franco, man. Why are you sporting that Tom Sawyer shirt? Come in a little tighter, man.
Well, I was in a show over at CMT San Jose, and it's called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
And who do you play?
I was Tom Sawyer.
What? What? Wait a minute. Okay, give me. No, wait a minute. It's not that I don't believe you, but come on, throw me a Tom Sawyer line.
Here's my plan. Yeah.
Okay. Give it up for him. Now, wait a minute. What brings you out today, brother?
Well, me and my friends Nolan and Emerson over there, we were just...
Sup, guys?
we were just exploring Pacifica and suddenly stopped by here, and then...
So you're like the modern day Tom Sawyer. You just like get on your raft and you go all over town.
Yeah. Yeah, and we spun the wheel over there, and it landed on Be On TV, and so now I'm here.
So here you are.
Yep.
That easy. Folks, it's that easy to get on TV. Now, by the way, since you're a thespian, you are an actor, talk to me about what's coming up. What are you doing next?
Well, I'm actually in another show at CMT San Jose right now. It's called Guys and Dolls. You may have heard of it.
I have.
I play Nicely Johnson in the Mink cast. So if you go to the CMT SJ website and look at Guys and Dolls, you could also see the Dice cast if you want to. But see both casts, yeah.
And you're a little promoter there, brother. I mean, you're hired, bro. I mean, I got a whole promotions team of interns over here. Guys, are you watching this? Are you checking this out? So, how did you get into acting?
Well, I did dance classes when I was little, and it kind of grew into doing lots of shows, and I was just like, whoa, I really want to do this. And so now I'm here.
All right, man, I'm putting you on the spot. You wanted to be on TV, huh? All right, now I'm going to have you come right around here in the front. Camera 2, get ready for this. Camera 2 and 3, you're going to have to widen out for this. You're going to put you get right in the center there. All right? Now show me what you can do, man. Give me a little bust a move, man. I don't know if we got any music for this or not. Maybe we don't, but just go ahead, and if you can do it, just bust a move. Show me what's up.
All right. So this is it's from Guys.
I could beatbox for you. Ready? Oh, wait a minute. You got a little music coming in. You got a little musical accompaniment coming in. Give it up for him, everybody. Yeah. We love you, man. You're good. Yeah. Wow. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Talk about being on TV. By the way, we're going to be at events all summer long, so if you want to be on TV, you spin the wheel, you might be on TV as well. 3 people here that didn't have to spin the wheel that we're going to meet right now, and I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourself and tell me what you do. Give me the short version, because we're going to come back around after we've done the introductions, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about what you do. But if you would, sir, tell me your name and what you do.
I am Eric Ryder of Pacifica, and I do experiments that refute the models of quantum mechanics that show that it's wrong.
That refute the models of quantum?
I have resolved the wave-particle duality paradox of quantum mechanics with many experiments that split gamma rays and alpha rays in a way that most physicists will say is impossible.
So he introduced himself to me as a mad scientist, and I'm just sitting here going, Marty, it's the flux capacitor, Marty. But we're going to talk. We're going to talk about what all that science stuff means. Yes, ma'am. Hi.
Hello. Is this on?
It is.
Okay, great. My name is Xenia, and I work in rescue, and I have a rescue handsome
You do
young
have a little
man here
rescue
with
friend
me.
there.
He's up for adoption. His name is Ardo, which is short for Fajardo.
Fajardo.
He is a Puerto Rican Sato. The rescue that I work with, Dynamic Duo Dog Rescue, gets many dogs from the island. We also get a lot of dogs from the Central Valley, just like
Wait a minute.
many
So this dog came from Puerto Rico?
This dog did.
Wow.
He did the flight all by himself.
And he doesn't look like, like he doesn't have any kind of, like he's not worse for the wear. He doesn't have any kind of like he's been on a plane for too long. When did he come by? When did he come through?
It's actually been about a month now, and he's only been with me for a day. So I'm also a dog trainer here in town.
Aw.
So once they're
What a
with
good
me,
boy.
they get to go through a training course, and which can last, I prefer it to last a few weeks, but he is up for adoption as soon as possible if someone would like to take him.
I don't know if we can get a good close-up of him there, but he is a
we
cutie
get
pie.
really amazing dogs. So we definitely handpick them, although the Satos do come from the street, so it's a little harder to handpick them. Look at him. He's being a little bit shy right now.
I'm going to ask you here in a minute what got you into this, but I'm very excited to know. Yeah. All right, and sir, right on the end, what is your name, sir?
Oh, my name is Patrick Fahey. I am retired mathematics educator, and now in my retirement, I have a show right here on Pacific Coast TV called Mega Trends on Thursdays from 2 to 3 in the afternoon.
Well, very good, Patrick. We appreciate you being here. Give it up for him. Yeah, that's right. You can do that. Hi, Rosalinda. So, Professor.
Hello. Yes.
Let's talk about this because you brought 3 props with you. What is the point of these 3 cups here?
I'm going to explain my threshold model, which is the alternative to quantization. All of physics will say everything is quantized. Light, matter, electrons, charges, protons, they're all quantized. They're all hung up on quantization. That's pretty much the same thing as saying it's particles. However, the paradox is that when they do experiments to spread these out across space, you'll see wave properties. Waves, like light diffracts, interferes. That cannot be done with particles. The idea of waves and particles are mutually exclusive. It's a 100-year-old problem they think is a paradox.
Let me ask you a question. So when I was in school, they taught us that the basic building block, right, of all matter was the atom, and that the atom consisted of neutrons, protons, and electrons, and that what was in between them was energy, space.
Yeah. Well, one thing at a time. Like, what is a particle? What is a wave? All of what you just said, the components of the atom, they're thought of in terms of particles, but they can all diffract. So just the more fundamental thing to answer is that wave-particle problem. What's going on to make that? So there are experiments where they've shown the particle property of light, and they think it goes one way or the other at a beam splitter, and I do the same experiment.
He's talking about the dual slit experiment.
The dual slit experiment is similar.
Do you remember when they did that in high school?
Yeah. The dual slit experiment is more of a statement of the paradox. It'll show wave properties, but it's not going to show the distinction. You're not going to be able to figure out what's going on from a dual slit experiment. They usually explain it as if there's some kind of particle, and then it goes to interference slits and then shows interference patterns. It's just going to confuse you, especially if you start out with the idea that it's a particle to begin with. That's the problem. It's not a particle to begin with, and I show what it is. So that's what these cups are. I'm going to demonstrate a very simple way of seeing what I'm up to with the cups.
Okay, let's take a look.
Yeah. So I'm saying that instead of it being quantized, they think everything is quantized. I'm saying it's thresholded instead.
Okay.
And so
you want to explain what it means to be quantized?
Yeah, good.
Explain what that means.
Quantized is like integers. It doesn't show up, nothing shows up in like half cups. It's always full. So I'm using the cup as an analog of what's quantized, that it's always full. So by quantum mechanics, if I take a full cup and I throw it at another one, it's only going to be one that is going to show up.
It's 1 to 1.
1 to 1, that's right.
Okay.
Now, what I do is, starting with 1, I throw it over here, and I look at the detectors. It's a pair of detectors, and they go together. They go together more often than accidental chance, which is against what quantum mechanics should do, which means it's 2 for 1, not 1 to 1. It's not
Wait a minute.
quantum.
Okay, so hang on.
Yeah, I start with
Let me make
1.
sure I'm following you. So you start out with 1 cup of water.
Right.
And if you put it in the second cup, you got 1 to 1.
Right.
But what are you saying?
I'm saying you could have a split where it'll go to 2.
So 1 becomes 2.
Right. You can let whatever filled here, whatever started with here,
Yeah.
can end up with a beam splitter, and it can go to 2 cups, and then they would both spill over.
And is your argument that if we're talking about it as a particle, that couldn't happen because a particle is finite material?
That's right. It's quantized.
Got
so
it.
what I see is that 2 will spill over, and I get coincidences of 2 detectors when I start with 1, which means it had to be half full to begin with, and then it became full, and then it was 2.
Right.
Right, so that's it. So I start with 1, and I get 2. That's the experiment, and I do it with gamma rays, and I split the atom the same way to get 2 for 1. It's the most sensational set of experiments that have ever happened to resolve this 100-year-old paradox. And I've done it hundreds of times in scores of ways to try to prove myself wrong. Over a period of 25 years, I've been published in at least 3 small journals, and most physicists will think I must have done something wrong, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So you can
or you
come,
were pulling a fast one or something.
Yeah, right. So you can come over to my lab and see it happen.
And where's your lab?
It's in Pacifica.
Pacifica, California,
Right.
everybody, is his lab. Come on,
Right.
give it up.
Right. I have,
Wow.
I have a nuclear physics laboratory in the living room where I did.
That sounds scary, but okay.
All right. So it sounds scary, but you can buy radioisotopes that are so weak that they're license exempt, and it'll put out gamma rays. And that's how I did it.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for this gentleman right here. All right, now, I don't know about you, but I feel a little bit smarter, and I'm thinking that if what you're saying is correct, it kind of blows the lid off of everything we think about what is matter, right? You know, what matters, right?
It's thresholded, not quantized. And I've analyzed many of the fundamental experiments to show the derivations of the equations to make it make sense with my model, plus to resolve to remove the ghosts that are used in all the other explanations of certain experiments to make it understandable.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I feel a little smarter. Now, we're going to talk to you again. And by the way, before we do, how do we get a hold of you?
Right.
If somebody wants to get a hold of you, they
Right.
want to interview you, like one of our interns.
Good.
That might want to interview you. How do they
Good.
do it?
I have a website, thresholdmodel.com, one word. At the top of the website is my email.
Okay, very good. Thresholdmodel.com.
Right.
All right. And now we want to talk about your wonderful experience. Your
Dogs.
But
Who likes dogs?
But let me ask you this though: are you a Puerto Rican?
I am not.
So what is
Chicana.
the Chicana?
Chicana.
So what's the? How did you find these dogs in Puerto Rico and why are you
So-
bringing them here? How did that come to be?
I've been working in rescue for about 10 years now, and there used to be a spay and neuter-a-thon in Puerto Rico, and many rescues in the Bay Area would go and help, and because of that, we would meet people who had rescues there. So I just happened to be on vacation last year or the year before, and
by the way, while we're talking, we got to get a picture of this
I
guy.
mean,
I don't know
he
if we can
really
get a-
is the cutest thing
He's a
ever.
cutie pie. But yeah, so you were on vacation.
I was on vacation. One of my rescues linked me up to this rescue dynamic duo who also is actually based out of Red Bluff with a hub here in Pacifica.
Uh-huh.
And, I just love you too. And that's Yeah. And
So
the
you were
ball
just on
got
vacation in
rolling.
Puerto Rico, and what is it? Is it that they have an abundance of strays, or what is it?
Unfortunately, the islands, and just about any island you go to visit, is under-resourced when it comes to vets and basic care for dogs. There are a lot of things that are not regulated there, so people don't fix their animals, unfortunately. And when you don't fix your animals, you have accidents, which leads to a very, very high amount of euthanizing dogs that are in perfect health, who have no behavioral issues, and we just, try to relieve the pressure of these high rates of euthanasia.
That's very sweet of you. And this wasn't like you didn't
the-
go
in the
there
Central
with that
Valley as
intent.
well.
You just discovered this issue, and you said, "I'm going to help."
Well, I've been working in rescue for a very long
You have,
time.
okay.
I really have a love for animals. I love cats equally. I just take in too many dogs to put any focus towards cats. But cats can be trained just like dogs can. And there's
I had a cat that played fetch better than any dog I ever knew.
yeah, totally, absolutely. Oh gosh. He's melting my heart. This is
look
why I
at
do
him.
rescue, because my heart is
Look at him,
constantly
Zoe. Look at him closely,
melting.
Zoe.
And yes, yes.
Zoe's our camera
absolutely.
operator.
He's only 4 months old, and
Aw,
he has
he's a
3
cutie.
siblings that are also up for adoption, equally as beautiful, equally as sweet. So,
Aw. How many
yeah.
siblings does he have?
He has 3 siblings.
They're all sweethearts.
They are all sweethearts. He is
What
the
is
largest.
his breed? What is the breed?
So I'm just calling him a Puerto Rican Sato.
A Sato.
Sato.
Is that a...
It just means a Puerto Rican street dog. But somebody
gonna
who
say, I thought,
rescued
is
a
that a
dog from
Sato
me
breed?
recently had the DNA done on their dog, and it came back as Sato. So it is not really a breed, but it is a mixture of many breeds.
Well, he's a mixture
I'm
of sweet
thinking-
and sweeter.
Oh, absolutely. I'm thinking he is some sort of hound, maybe some terrier. He will
Definitely, I
get
see some terrier.
bigger. He will get bigger. He's only 4 months old, so he really is just a baby. He may end up to be 60 pounds, maybe
Yeah.
a little more.
So is he about half grown now? How much
He
does he weigh
could
now?
double in size.
Double in size?
Yeah, at 4 months
Yeah.
old, they could double in size, especially when they're larger.
Yeah. Well, just more sweetness.
It's more sweetness.
That's it.
Yeah. So
And,
somebody come scoop him up.
Let me ask you this question, because nowadays, it seems like people have gotten really scientific about how they want to feed their animals. What's a good diet?
So I always recommend adding some wet food, some sort of a topper, a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons.
Adding it to what?
Adding it to their dry dog food.
Okay.
So many of us can't afford to only give wet food, whether that's canned food or food for dogs.
Yep.
There's all types of farmers' dog. There's all types of amazing companies out there that are making human grade dog foods. But adding it just a tablespoon or 2 on top of your food and wetting the dry food a little bit. It's really important to wet the dry food so that it gets a little softer. If you've ever noticed a dog when they get sick and they throw up the food the same way it went down. They don't chew it at all. So it helps their digestive system a bit if you just make it
Dogs
easier
do
for
gulp,
them.
don't they?
Yeah, they do.
gulp their
and they
food.
need,
That's why I always...
And they're sensitive. They have sensitive little digestive systems.
They do. My dog Lady, when I was growing up, I had an Australian Shepherd. It was the smartest dog in the world, but she wanted to gulp everything. So my dad would
They
come
do.
home. He'd bring the T-bone home from Little Joe's late night.
Nice.
And I'd go up there Sunday morning. I'd look. Did Dad? Oh.
Yeah.
There it is. But you can't give it to her because she's just going to...
Yeah.
So you have to, give her
In
so she can
pieces,
savor
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about by
That's what
adding
I'm
a
talking
topper.
about.
Okay.
And I highly recommend, from a behavioral point of view as well, to make it fun for your dog. You can actually take the dog food, like a little dry dog food, and you can wrap it in some newspaper or a toilet paper roll, and you can stuff it in there, and you can let
or
the
like
dog
a Kong,
go.
put it it in a Kong
yes,
so they can
put
have
it in a
something
Kong,
to do. Yeah.
or a slow feeder. That a slow feeder
Yeah.
is not just to eat slowly, but it's also
Gives them something to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It
Gives
gives
them an
them
activity.
some very easy enrichment, which
Yeah.
is so important for our dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had a friend with a pity that again they're the worst. They're, like everything goes immediately.
They do.
But they love to chew, so we would pack
Yep.
that Kong,
Yeah.
and it was just amazing.
And chewing's really good for their brain, so it's
And so,
important
how
they
do
get to
people
do
get a
that.
hold of you if they want to adopt one of these wonderful pooches of yours?
Well, can I do a quick plug?
Please.
Okay. On May 31st, which I believe is next Saturday, is that right? Is next Saturday? There is going to be a dog event that El Granada is putting on, the El Granada Quarry next to the school. And it is a huge dog event. There'll be a dog contest, cutest dog with the most interesting rescue story, a dog who can do the best tricks. Naughtiest dog. There'll be
The naughtiest
yes,
dog
the naughtiest
contest?
dog is going to have.
What do they got to
an
do to
award.
demonstrate? How do they prove that they're the naughtiest dog?
Oh, I'm sure I could find one. So that'll be May 31st, and we will be there with rescue dogs that will be up for adoption. You can find me at thesagedogtraining.com or on Instagram at thesagedogtraining.
Wait,
I
I'm
live
sorry. Let's say that again slower.
The Sage Dog
S-A-G-E.
Training.
The Sage, S-A-G-E.
Correct.
Dog training.
Yes.
.com.
.com. Or on Instagram. Same name. The Sage, S-A-G-E, dog training.
Wonderful.
Or you can you can Google Dynamic Duo Dog Rescue. There is a website currently being made. Dynamic Duo has been around
Are you on
since
Instagram or any social media?
2013, and Dynamic Duo is now, as of a day or two ago, on social media.
Okay, good.
So
it's Dynamic Duo at Dynamic Duo or
at Dynamic Duo Dog Rescue.
Dog Rescue. Got it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I was going to
And
say,
my
I think
name is
Dynamic
Xenia.
Duo has probably been taken by now.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin, I think, sewed that one up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for letting us be here.
Absolutely. Now, before
really
we
appreciate
go,
it. Thank you, Cheryl.
You bet, Cheryl.
Cheryl, you're amazing.
So, Patrick Fahey, it's called Megatrends. Talk to me.
Well, thanks for showing up this afternoon and this morning, everybody, and thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Well, it just so happens that right in this space right here, Jason and I produce Megatrends every Thursday.
And what is it? What is
originally-
Megatrends? Because I know you're a mathematician, but what do you do with Megatrends?
Well, Megatrends originally was for 2.5 years on KXSF FM in San Francisco as a radio show. And then I noticed that it was possible to also take the radio show part, which I was producing, and parlay it into TV.
Yeah.
Because it, when I was provide things like say information that required graphs, like time graphs.
Oh yeah, hard to do
it
that
would
on the
be,
radio.
I would have to tell people on radio to go. Well, you can go to this URL and
Yeah.
you can see what I'm
Right.
talking about right here. Whereas on TV, I can just put
It's
up the
right
graph.
there. Put up the graph.
So it's
Sure.
it was provided a lot more freedom. And Megatrends lately, I've been really talking about a lot of oligarchy and fascism and kind of the actionable things that we can do as citizens to overcome all of the tension that's going on in the United States. But it also I also included I was also an astronomy fellow in last year in July in Chile, where I was chosen as one of 10 educators to go to Chile to go to all the astronomy fellowship locations in Chile, where 70% of the world's astronomy infrastructure is located in the ultimate place.
Why is that, by the way? Why is there so much to see in Chile specifically?
Well, because if Chile is in the southern hemisphere,
yep,
and if you take a vector and go directly off the Earth, it actually looks directly orthogonal or perpendicular to the plane of the galaxy. So you can look at deep field rather than looking through the galaxy. Because if you look through the galaxy, that's what we see, that
You're
kind
just
of
going to
light
see
plane.
stuff upon stuff.
Yeah, at a dark
so it gives
night.
you perspective.
On a dark
in other
night,
words.
you can see that a lot of concentration of light along a certain plane.
Yeah.
That's the galaxy. That's the
plane that all
plane
the
of the
planets
galaxy,
and stars
right.
are on. Yeah.
And so Chile happens to be, number one, it's cold and it's very high altitude in the mountains. So 99% of the atmosphere is out of the way. So they don't have to do a lot of trigonometry and filtering.
To just get through the Earth's atmosphere and see things.
Right, when they're doing optical astronomy. But mostly they do radio astronomy, so it doesn't matter whether it's day or night, because radio astronomy just cuts through all the light.
Yeah, but optical is going to give you the visual that radio can only approximate.
Right, but you can only you can only do optical at night, whereas radio astronomy can be done at any time of the day.
But it helps that altitude because you got less atmosphere to go through.
Yeah, and also since it's radio astronomy, it's using a frequency that cuts through filtering for very deep field looks into the universe, to the very, very early universe, to like when at the early star formation, and now the James Webb Space Telescope has informed us that we now are seeing early star and galaxy formation that completely blew away all the algorithms. We used to originally think before 2 or 3 years ago that galaxies and stars only happened about 1 billion years after the Big Bang. Well, now we know that they happened as early as 150 million years after the Big Bang, which says, wow, the universe is a whole lot more efficient than we thought. So,
Right.
and we went to Alma, which is called the Atacama, in the Atacama Desert. That was the ultimate one. Atacama is at 16,500
That's like a
feet.
llano. That's like a high desert, right?
Yes, it's at 16,500 feet, and we had to have oxygen and tanks to be able to go up there. And that's where they have the Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array. That's ALMA. And that's the facility that took the picture of the agujero negro supermasivo en el centro de la Vía Láctea, the supermassive black hole, the center of the Milky Way galaxy. That some of you, and maybe we've all seen that black hole at the center of our galaxy is called M87. That was the facility that was able to resolve on that. And so, as part of my ambassadorial duties, and as part of one of my Megatrend shows, I do my ambassadorial duties at local high schools around, and one of the I have that as my opening salvo, that picture, but I also have this 22,000 light years zoom from Earth to the center of the galaxy in about 90 seconds, like many orders of magnitude faster than the speed of light. And it's hard to blow teenagers' minds, but that really blew their minds. And so it does that zoom in about 90 seconds, and every single star and every single object is exactly proportional. It's based on Hubble data, so it's not just a cartoon. It's amazing zoom, 22,000 light years in 90 seconds. So that's part of what megatrends. That's a heck of a megatrend, isn't it?
That's one hell of a megatrend. All right, now speaking of megatrends, how do people see the show?
They can go on to, actually they can see the rebroadcast on YouTube by going to, Pat Fahey Megatrends.
Pat Fahey, and spell your name again for us.
P as in psoriasis, A-T.
Pat,
Fahey, F-A-H-E-Y.
F-A-H-E-Y.
Yeah,
Megatrends.
Megatrends, and then it'll just Google that.
Or they can go to that website that's right there, PacificCoast.tv. And what day and time?
It's on Thursdays from 2 to 3, and I send out on Facebook a poster. And the link is active, so it's only active at 2 o'clock. So you click on it at 2 o'clock, and bing,
right here on PCT.
Here on
Give it up
PCTV.
for him, everybody. It's Pat Fahey and friends. Now wait a minute. Before we're going to run out to a little bit of a break here, but before we do, I got my girl Cheryl from our board of directors. She is back, and Cheryl has a friend with her. All right, hang on. Let's see what we got going on here. I don't know what you got here. You got all kinds of goodies here, Cheryl. So Cheryl pulled up the professor's mic. And what's your name, brother? Come on, sneak in here.
My name is James Santos, the owner of Samaj's Cookies.
Yum.
Whose cookies?
Samaj's cookies.
Spell it.
SEMAJ. Apostrophe
Also
S.
happens to be James spelled backwards.
Got it. Got it. Right. Very good. So what do you got here, sir?
I got a dozen of Samaj's Cookies Finest over here. I got the infamous Cookies and Cream, a.k.a. Moonwalker.
Whoa, wait, he moonwalked right off the set. Okay, come back in here. You gotta moonwalk back over here.
Okay, yes.
Okay, you guys are so confusing. I wish we'd have practiced this. Okay.
I will pull a name for
All right.
the winner.
She's gonna pull a name.
Samaj's Cookies, and then we got more.
By the way, I guess because I know it's probably not opportune to open those up and show them, but because I caught him when I was coming in today. Right when I was coming in, he's like, "What's up, player?" And I'm like, "What's up, homie?" Yeah. And we did that. After about 10 minutes of that, then he said, "Man, let me lay you the good." And he laid the cookie on me. And when I bit into this, man, was that marshmallow on the inside of that cream? What was that?
Yes, sir. That was the newest cookie. Red velvet with dark chocolate chip and marshmallow, a.k.a. Olivia Rodrigo. Yes, if you guys are big fans, I guess apparently her new album is Red. That's my son's favorite, but yeah, that's the new.
AKA The Business. That's what that was. So whoever wins, so this is going to be an auction item. A raffle item. You already pulled a name. What's the name?
We're on a theme. It's not Mary Beer.
Not Mary Beer.
Christine Bowles.
What? Christine Bowles?
Yeah,
Christine Bowles gets these cookies.
Member.
Is she even still here?
Yeah.
Can I eat them in her honor? Did she go home? Okay.
We'll make sure
we can
that
get
she
them.
gets those.
Can we get those to her? Maybe Mary can get them to her.
And what else have you got?
Okay. What else we got? What else we got, James?
Shen Aroma Farm.
There we go.
Aroma Farm. What is that? What is it?
It is soaps and what is the
Soaps?
jar? No.
Shaving soap.
Shaving soap.
Shaving soap. There you go.
And a collection of handmade soaps.
So you get clean and you get a shave at the same time. Because why should those be two processes?
Right.
Like I was in a hurry to get down here today.
Okay. So
I don't shave anyway. But if I did. Oh, go ahead. Yes. Pull it.
Deirdre Crow.
Deirdre Crow? Where's Deirdre Crow?
I think she has left, but we will make sure.
Deirdre Crow has left the building.
And then
listen, Deirdre, if you need somebody to eat them in your honor, I'm here for you, girl. I just want you to know.
Soap.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm still on the cookies, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, but I bet you
can
could
volunteer
eat the
to
soap.
help
I bet you
Christine
could. Some soap
eat the cookies.
All right, wait a minute.
Okay, now
you got something
I've got
here.
something
Easy there,
really
camera one.
special.
She's excited. Camera
Look
one's
at this.
excited. What is it?
This is art and
Wow.
sea glass, two of my favorite things. And it was done by our very own Gail Benjamin
Hi,
of Left
Gail.
Coast Sea Glass.
Yes, there she is.
We will be getting Gail and some of the other makers up on the couch soon.
Yes, we are.
And we've got more of these. So if you don't win this one, you still have a chance. She
Okay, there it
donated
is.
3, Marty. And they're wonderful. They're beautiful.
Beautiful. Let me just look at that one time. Oh,
so
I'm
it's
sorry.
her.
I'm sorry, camera
They're
one.
called odd birds.
Oh, beautiful. Odd
Yeah.
birds. Beautiful.
All
I don't know
right.
how close you can get on that. But this is why you got to be down here, guys. We got about an hour left. Who won?
The
Who
odd bird won. James.
James! Hey, come on, James. Up high, up high. Hey, listen, you got to play to win. If you listen, I know you're thinking it's a fix. You know what? You got to play to win. Okay, that's what they taught me in Vegas.
Full. This thing is full. I had to have more tickets printed. That's how many
Wow.
we sold.
And is
Okay,
there
the
something else here?
final item
Okay, woo.
right
Drum
now.
roll. Brrr.
And this is a
Ooh, what is
PCT
that?
success story.
A PCT
Last
success
year,
story.
a beautiful young woman named Heather came to our open house.
Okay.
And her significant mother-in-law asked if I could help her get
Her
started.
certificate mother. See
Her
what I did there? Her
significant
certificate.
mother-
See what I did there?
You're so much
Her
smarter than
significant
me.
mother-in-law.
You should be the general manager. Oh, you are. Okay, never mind. But
Chief cook and bottle washer. Okay.
so
Yes.
she asked if I could help Heather get started. Heather has taken every opportunity and run with it.
Wait,
she
that
makes,
same Heather made that?
Yes.
Oh,
she makes
give it up for
these-
Heather, everybody.
These are hand molded.
Where are you, Heather? Where are you? She's back there. Okay,
She
she's
has
shy.
a green thumb.
Yes.
She grows the succulents.
Succulents.
And she also, at different times in the year, will be selling fruit and vegetables and fruit
Wow.
and plants.
Wow.
And so this is a beautiful little seashell
It's like
planter
a
with a
conch
succulent.
shell of sorts,
And
and
then
it's
she
got-
has
it's
these
beautiful.
little decorations she makes
Beautiful.
that are for your
little
garden
seahorse.
or your
I don't
planters.
know if you can see that. People
yeah.
at home probably, but it's so gorgeous. You got to, if you want to see it properly, folks, you got to get your
Yes.
butt down here. Come on down. All right.
Purchased something from Miss Heather as well. Can I come back and show you real quick?
Run
Come
while
on,
I
bring
draw
it-
the
bring it
name.
back, bring it back.
Run, James, run.
Run, James. Run, Forrest. I mean, James.
Okay, so which city council member will win this
I
one?
don't know.
Oh, look
I don't
what
know.
he got.
Oh, look at that, bro.
Oh, my God.
That is also.
I told Miss Heather, I was like, oh my God, like I need that for my cookie display.
So,
it goes.
So this is James. This is your display, but this is what you found to
From Miss
That's
Heather.
what
Yes,
happens
Miss
with
Heather.
community
Hey.
media, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Hey, let's go.
Thank you, Heather. You want to come up here
Bringing
and
it
take
all
a bow?
together. Heather, do you want to take a bow?
Come take a bow.
Let's see who wins your. Let's see who wins your gifts here. This is quite the. Hi, Heather. Thank you, Heather. By the way, Sue Beckmeyer. Sue Beck, come on down, Sue. You're the next contestant on. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Sue, come on over here.
Give it a good home.
Oh, that one too? She gets that too?
No, that's James.
That's
He
next.
bought
Oh,
that.
that's
And
James.
here's
Oh,
your
sorry,
two
James.
little goodies.
I almost gave your thing away, James. Sorry.
And I have more to give away on the next.
By the
next
way,
segment.
Sue, I know you're playing. Come on. I know you're in the back today, but Sue is also a city council member for the city of Pacifica. Give it up. And Sue,
Mayor.
thank you. She is the mayor. She is the mayor, not just a city council member, but the one who gets to wield the gavel. Sue, thank you for coming down today.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to be here. I wouldn't miss it. I'm so glad I was in town and not somewhere else. Would hate to miss this.
No, we don't want you to miss it.
And it's really fun. And if anyone's watching that isn't here, they should get in the car and get on the bike or walk over if they live nearby and come on down. It's
We're
so
here till
fun.
5.
Here till 5. Lots of raffle tickets to be had. Fabulous prizes.
Yeah.
If Mary Beer doesn't win them all. And great people. And it's just a wonderful time. So please come.
All right.
Give it up for the mayor of Pacifica. And by the way, your husband, who's also the impresario of the Fog Festival, is going to come on in just a little bit to talk to us about the Fog Festival. You know, PCT's been supporting the Fog Festival for, I don't know, at least well over 30 years, and we want to continue to do that, and we want to continue to see that the Fog Festival grows and gets better and expands every year, because this town deserves it, this peninsula deserves it. And can we give it up for all these wonderful people? And we're going to be right back with Mr. Beckmeyer right after this. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Hi, and welcome to How to Make a Podcast, where we're going to walk you through the basic tech needs that you need to get up and running as a video podcaster. I'm Kiera.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're here from PCT. And in this workshop, we're going to talk about the 3 key aspects to podcasting: hardware, lighting, and your background set. And learning these aspects will give you a great foundation to starting your podcast. First, we're going to have Jordan talk about your audio needs and your hardware.
Yeah, thanks, Kara. First, I wanted to talk about, like she said, basic hardware and audio needs that you'll need to start your podcast. First thing you want to have to start your own podcast is some sort of laptop computer or a computer that has a built-in camera. This way, it's an easy solution to get yourself on screen and engaging with your audience. The next thing I wanted to talk about is basically how your voice will get picked up, and that's dealing with some sort of microphone. Now, you do have the option of using the built-in microphone on your computer, but a better solution would be to have some sort of external microphone. Now, that can be AirPods, like I'm using right now. That's a simple solution that most people have, some sort of like Bluetooth connectivity that you can connect to your laptop. And another option would be to use something like this, which is wired headphones. most people have access to these, but the main thing you want to have is this external microphone part that picks up your voice. And the idea behind using an external microphone is to get better sound quality. Another point is to be in a quiet area where there's not a lot of ambient noises that can be picked up or that may distract you while you're doing your podcast. Now, an even better way to get better sound quality would be to go to, say, Best Buy or something and to invest in something like this, which is an external microphone on a stand that you can talk into. And these are relatively inexpensive, and you can get one that the simplest solution is to get a USB external microphone. And the investment will pay off because you'll get even better sound quality than using, say, your AirPods or external headphones. So the idea behind all this is to just get as good sound quality as you can, because in the end, people are going to be listening to this, and you want to come across as professional. And now I'm going to toss it back to Kiera, and she's going to talk about lighting.
Thank you. Yeah, so lighting is really important, as is microphones, audio, and hardware. If you're doing any video podcasts or just any video in general, lighting is key. So a cheap and simple way to get some key light is a ring light. This is a picture of a ring light. They're pretty cost efficient and they're just simple to use. They just light, they sit adjacent to your camera and they bring in some key light. Another example of some lighting is a 2-point light, and that is a key light and a fill light, and they sit across from each other parallel to the camera, and they light up the one subject. And they're also really good for if you have two people or two objects in the podcast. They bring light to both of those subjects. It's really important as well to have a clean, professional looking background. And Jordan will talk to you about some backgrounds. As you can see, he has a really good setup behind him.
Yes, thanks, Kiera. So the last thing I wanted to touch on was the background, what's behind you. Now, this is really important because it can set the tone and the vibe for your podcast. As you can see, what I've done is I have like a world map. I have some art that I created and kind of like a poster, and the main idea behind this is to try to like personalize your background. Maybe your podcast has a specific theme, and you can kind of organize your background to the theme of your podcast. This can be artwork or posters like I have, or you can sit in front of a bookshelf, which is very popular, or whatever. I mean, this is really up to you. The main thing is to not make it too busy, because you don't want it to be distracting. You don't want it to be over cluttered where it'll be distracting to the viewers. Another cool thing that you could do is use what's called a practical light, which would be a light in the background, some type of like colored light, which can kind of set the mood for your podcast. It could be a red light, blue light, green light, or anything like that, which you think will add to the vibe of what you're talking about in your podcast. And these are simple techniques to kind of give your podcast a more professional look. And with that, we've touched on a few key points to get you up and running in your podcast.
Hello everybody, I hear Pacific Coast Television is doing a fundraiser, and now there are tons of reasons why you should help support Pacific Coast Television. You know, they are a local nonprofit in Pacifica. They help the community, they give a voice to the voiceless, but not only that, they help students and people pursue their dreams. I used to be an intern there, and thanks to Pacific Coast Television, I am now an anchor/reporter at ABC 23 and Fox 28 in Eureka. And if it wasn't for them, I would literally not be sitting here. I am so grateful for them. They do amazing work, and they really do help out everyone and anyone that comes into their path.
Hi.
Hi.
What is your name?
My name is Kalima Salahuddin, and I'm on the board of the Jefferson Union High School District.
Oh, it's really cool. So
How's
how are you
your
liking
day
the
today?
summit so far?
How am I liking today, or?
How are you liking the summit so far?
Summer?
Summit.
Summit. Okay, sorry, I couldn't
Sorry.
hear. No, this is great. I love the turnout. I think
Yeah.
it's fantastic that we had so many students from both our district and the elementary school
Sorry,
district.
ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. Can you talk into the mic?
Oh, sorry.
You have to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
really close.
Get really
Sorry.
close? Okay,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem.
You can hold it if you want. You can hold it.
Okay.
Like, take it out.
Yeah, just pull it out.
There you go.
Okay, so I think the summit's fantastic. I love the turnout. I'm glad that we had so many students from our district and the elementary school district here to talk about the important issues that you guys are discussing today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So you said you were on the Jefferson High School District Board. How's that been?
I've been on the board for 10 years, and so it has been a journey. I've learned a lot personally. My kids went through the district. I had my son went to Terra Nova, my daughter to Oceana and Jefferson, I had twins. So trying to make sure that we have a good school district for all of our kids, including my own, and then being on the board through COVID, which was tough. But I'm glad that we're all back in school and getting as close to normal as possible.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite section being in the podcast, or not the podcast? I'm sorry,
The
the
summit,
summit.
You know, the activity they did where you're drawing your ideal community,
Yeah.
I thought that was really, I was so interesting to hear what different tables came up with. And then it's always nice to hear what students think about what the future should be. We always talk about the adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Carlos, you got any questions?
Actually, yeah, I do. How do you handle the school board or what you're in? I'm sorry. Yeah.
How do I handle it?
What do you do there?
Oh yeah, what's
Yeah,
your position?
I think so. The superintendent runs the school district,
Oh.
and the board is the superintendent's boss.
Oh.
So our biggest job is to manage the superintendent and make sure that who he or she or they are doing the job that they need to in order to support you guys. And then the second thing that we do is we do all the budgeting and the policy. So all the rules come through the board.
That sounds really cool.
What's your favorite part of your job?
You know, my favorite part is I wouldn't be sitting here without a teacher. I think everyone can go back to like the teacher, a teacher, or I know like janitors are extremely important. Somebody you connect sometimes with the people in the kitchen staff, but there's always that one person in school that helped influence your life. And I just want to make sure that, and one of the things I like being on the board is ensuring that every student has that experience. Every student gets what they need out of the school. We may not be perfect, but trying to do our best to make sure that everyone has that experience to help them when they grow up.
All right. What would be your favorite school out of the whole Jefferson district?
You know, that's like picking your favorite kid, and I don't
Yeah.
like, and I
Yeah.
don't. You know, you connect with your kids. I have 3 kids, and you connect with them on different things in different ways. So there's different things that I like about each of my kids that we connect more, and that's the same with each of the schools. So for Jefferson, I really love how they really embrace their community and their culture, and they infuse that in all of their different things. In Oceana, I really love how close-knit that community is because it's a tight school, and then there seems to be like something for everybody. Like when my daughter went there, she found a group of kids who like K-pop and anime, and I'm like, there's that group, like.
Yeah.
And then at Terra Nova, like they're into everything. So there's so many clubs. If you want to try or do something, you could do that at Terra Nova. And at Westmore, I really love how they have infused arts and giving back in the community into so many different things that they do. So, and then there's lots more. You know, Thornton, we have our adult programs. Like there's so many different things that I love about the school district.
Sounds like you really like your job.
I do,
Yeah.
because you have to do it. It's a volunteer job. So.
Yeah. Thank you for being here with us.
No, and thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for everything that you're doing. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Yep.
Thank you for tuning in to Module 2 of How to Make a Podcast. We are going to be talking about the subject and organizing episodes of your podcast. My name is Emily.
And I'm Danya. And for the first subject, we are going to be talking about your topic, what ties your podcast together. Obviously, you want to pick a topic that you are well versed in, that you're passionate about. And this could be anything. This could be health. This could be fitness, video games, music, whatever you are passionate about. And the beauty of podcast is it could be your opinion. You don't have to have a master's degree in health and fitness to talk about your workouts, what you eat in a day. And you just have to be passionate about it.
Exactly. And something also to consider is whether you want a co-host. Some benefits of having a co-host could be you want somebody to bounce your ideas off of, or maybe you have a friend with similar interests and you are able to have a productive conversation with them. Maybe you have some dead air on the podcast. I know that a co-host would be able to pick up where you left off on and maybe add on to what you were saying. Some drawbacks though would be scheduling conflicts since you have to film at the same time. I know when Danya and we did a media history podcast, we had to go back and forth for like a whole week to find an actual time that we could film together. So that's something to consider when you want a co-host.
Yeah, definitely. Another area where it's important to include in your podcast is an intro and an outro. You don't want to blind your audience. You want them to know what they're getting themselves into, what they're going to see, what they're going to learn. So for that, you can include an intro and an outro. And in an intro, it could be a quick 10 to 20 second video. It could be a graphic with your favorite music. An example of that, if you're doing a video game review, it would be a graphic of your favorite video game with your favorite music. You can be creative with it. You're just giving the audience a heads up of what they're going to see.
Yeah, and something also important to know is that you have to organize these handfuls of information in a way that makes sense. So most podcasts use the segment system. So the first thing you would do, you would introduce the topic. But side note, it's also important to cite your sources if you're talking about something that's not only your opinion. So you have to make sure that you're being a reliable source of information because with a lot of disinformation going around currently, you want to make sure that you're not adding to that and that you're being reliable.
Exactly. Citing your sources is very, very crucial to making your podcast very authentic. Also, another thing, as I said before, make it meaningful, make it something you're very passionate about, and have fun with your topic. Bring guests into your show. People love having other opinions, even having someone that disagrees with you or has a different opinion with you is very vital to your podcast. People love to see the other side of things. And yeah, it should always come off as genuine as possible and include other people's opinion. Do not be closed-minded in this. Always be free to involve as many people as you can.
Exactly. And last thing to consider is you need to keep your audience hooked and make the topic quick. So you need to discuss the topic, try not to go on tangents because you might lose the theme of your podcast or, go off of the go off of what you were talking about and completely lose track of the topic of your podcast. So you would need to conclude the topic after that, and then you are done. That is one episode of your podcast finished, and you have a podcast on your hands.
Yes, guys, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you learned something new in this episode. I'm Vanya Romero.
I'm Emily Fung.
And thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day and a dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see free.
How's everybody feeling? It's a later part of the afternoon. You feeling good? A little bit, a tiny bit of an energy dip, but I think it was the cookies. You know, I don't know about you, but after I eat those cookies, I get a little sleepy time. It's teepee time for Marty, right? Is it teepee time? Not yet? Oh, it is? Okay. All right. Guys, thank you so much. If you're just tuning in, my name is Marty Anaya, and you are watching the Pacific Coast TV 2025 Open House. Give it up for yourselves for showing up. And can we get another big round of applause for all these amazing makers who have shown up? Give it up for them. They are absolutely working and doing some amazing work at that. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. And I want to remind everybody, too, that, you know, what we're doing this for is to let you know that you have a resource here and that you can interact and interface with that resource, and you can come up with ways and means that you can get the word out for what you do, like these wonderful people that we're going to talk to here in just a moment. But look, you might be saying, you know what, I'm not the TV type of person. I'm not going to create a radio show, but I'll help somebody else. You know, every single one of these nonprofit organizations, like the Fog Festival, who we're going to talk to the president of the Fog Festival in just a moment, all these organizations rely on volunteer help. And guess what? PCT is no different. If it weren't for volunteers, interns, volunteer board members, I'd be sitting here by myself, and that wouldn't be too much fun. So the fact of the matter is that you might not have an idea for a show. Maybe there's not something that you want to do or a communication that you want to get out specifically, but you might want to come down and be a part of something and be a part of helping somebody. And who knows where that can lead. I mean, so many shows that we've done here at PCT over the years. I just met a lady who says, oh, I came back down here in the 80s. I was on PCT way back in the day. And that has meant so many connections for her. And if I had a nickel for every time I met somebody that met a lot of the people who are now major business associates, major friends, major, that they're now a part of each other's lives. And by the way, not just in Pacifica, but up and down the coast side, up and down all the way to Pescadero. The simple fact, and I'll just give you guys one little anecdote. It was the Boys and Girls Club. We were doing PCT honors. We were honoring somebody from the Boys and Girls Club, Half Moon Bay. Turned out that somebody that was working at the same organization, only in the Pacifica branch, and they meet. They had never met. They didn't even realize how much they had in common, much less how much they could have helped each other, the synergy that's created as a result of that. And folks, that's what it's all about. That's what we're trying to do. That's what community is, and that's what community media, public education, and government access, that's the acronym, PEG, right? That's what we're here to facilitate. We're here to facilitate your coming together as a community to make life better for all of us. And that takes a multiplicity of ways, views, mechanisms by which it can happen, but that's the point of it. So PacificCoast.tv, that's the website. Sign up, become a member. If you came down here today, great. If you didn't, if you missed it, and you're like, oh, shucks, that's all right. Sign up and become a member. Give us a call, 650-355-8000. I always say on the telephone, give us a call, right? And operators are not standing by, but we do have an answering machine that will, everybody's in here working right now. But if you leave a message, I promise you we'll call you back, and we'll see what's going on with you and how we can be of service to you, and maybe you can be of service to your community. Now, speaking of which, it is my distinct honor, and what I've been doing here today is I've been doing short little introductions. That way we can see who's on the panel and who's on the couch, as it were. So in the way of a small introduction, and then we'll come back and talk to you a little bit more fulsome. If you would, sir, tell us your name and what do you do?
Yeah, John Beckmeyer. Marty, you put it so well on how it takes community to put something together. And if it's small, it makes it easy, and if it's big, it actually makes it possible. We're with the Fog Fest, myself and my colleague Robin at the end of the couch. I happen to be the president. I failed up the organization and have achieved presidential capabilities. Robin runs the parade, the best small town parade in America. And it's on our street on Palmetto. This year it will be September 27th, bright and early in the morning. Come on down to Fog Fest. You're going to be in the parade, and if you're not in the parade, then you will be there to watch and cheer on your fellow townspeople. It's an amazing thing. It's the feel of this thing is incredible. So thank you very much. And then, of course, all the public service announcements. And then you also, people don't realize it, but you can tune into the Fog Fest.
Fog Fest on TV, baby.
And Fog Fest on TV, and Marty covers Marty and crew, because Marty's just like glad-handing
I'm
people.
one person.
Yes.
I'm
You're
just one guy.
smiling and whatnot. But Marty and crew get us the parade, and they get us all the music at our South Stage.
I get to get up on the mic and act like an idiot to introduce the bands, but beyond that, it's an entire crew of people. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And who do we have here with you? Oh, wait, she's got a mic. Yeah. Hi.
Hi. I am Ginger. My husband Brandon and I purchased Chit Chat Cafe.
The Chit Chat! Give it up for Ginger at the Chit Chat. We were so worried about the Chit Chat. Thank you, Ginger.
Yeah.
And by the way, thanks for the yummy sandwich. Oh, who is this? There's
This
a
is my
little
dog.
Ginger that just
Sorry.
wandered onto the set.
Peanut.
Who is this, Ginger? Is this somebody
is my
you know?
dog, Peanut.
That's Peanut.
Apparently, she got loose.
Oh, Peanut got loose.
Oh, boy.
Ginger, talk to me. Well, just give me the short version because I want to talk to you a little bit more at length. But How long you been in business now with the Chit Chat?
So we took over a year and a half ago from Amy and Paul, the previous owners. We actually met there in the early 2000s when we both worked there. And we remained in contact with the previous
that's great.
owners. Yeah. So when it was time for them to retire, Paul turned to Brandon and was just like, "You guys ready?" And we said yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about the fortunes of the Chit Chat. But first, I have one more person. Please introduce yourself. Yep, you got it. That's it. That's you.
This here? Okay, hi. I'm Robin
Close up,
Renils.
close as you can get.
And
Robin.
I'm a board member with Pacific Coast Fog Fest for, I don't know, forgot how many years it's been. But a board member, and I'm with the parade. I am a professional herder. So we have the parade every year, and everybody comes down, and it's hundreds of people and vehicles and parade floats, and it's just sort of like, it looks sort of chaotic in the beginning, but we managed to get it lined up and
And girlfriend,
separated.
I just want to tell you, I see you, man, every year, man, because we're setting up, we're getting ready to record.
Yeah.
And I see you, and you have no shortage of stuff to do, and much of which is like last minute herding, wrangling, right?
It's a lot of wrangling and herding. But Marty, we'll talk about it. But your coverage is amazing of what you do for
Thank
us
you.
on that stage too.
And we try to help you too with herding the folks. You know, 'cause everybody wants to jump the line and where do I go and everything, and then they come to me and I'm like, hey man, that way.
Yeah, but anyway, it's the parade. That's what we do for Fog Fest. And it brings Pacifica down Saturday morning, and then they're here for the rest of the festival. It's amazing.
Hey, and by the way, I got to tell you, you know what the number one request that we get after Fog Fest, when it's over, it's how can I see the parade again? I want to see that parade. I missed it. Or maybe they were there. They want to see it again. That's the number one out of all the bands, all the famous bands, all the stuff that goes on at Fog Fest. Number one thing we get is we want to see that parade again. Please play it again.
Yeah, it's amazing how the neighborhoods and like Manor Pirates, oh my God, they're amazing. But the bands, I mean, what you see people put together and create every year, it's very, very entertaining. So, and
We even had a float one year. I don't know how we put it together. Well, I do know. I had a board member named Amanda, and she's now moved back to the East Coast where she's from originally. But she said, Marty, why don't we have a float? And I said, because we're already pulling our hair out, doing all this other stuff. And she said, I'll make it happen. So, you know what? It's amazing what can happen when you have a group of people that are, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we couldn't do it. The Fog Fest last year relied on 33 different community groups. We wrote almost $90,000 worth of checks to these 33 groups in our community.
Because wait a minute, because may I just stop you right there? Because so these are mostly nonprofits that come together to support, and at the end of the day, they get a check.
Yes. We hold back enough money to kick off the next Fog Fest, and these people get a check. And it's all the great little backbone groups in our community that create this fabric of Pacifica that we love.
And Fog Fest could not happen without them. We could not run it without those people.
The point that I think needs to be underscored, that was the kind of point that I was trying to lead into this conversation with, is that it does take the village. Yeah. And in our case, and in the case of the Fog Fest, 33 community groups, and last year, what was, ballpark it for me, the attendance?
Roughly 60,000, maybe a touch more.
Okay, so let's put that in context here. So 60,000 visitors, and by the way, Half Moon Bay, Pumpkin Fest happens a couple weeks later, and guess what? We turn around and we're right there, and it's the same thing. It's 60, 70, 80,000 people in the case of Pumpkin Fest descend on this little town, and 60,000 people that descend on Pacifica, many of whom are out-of-towners that are coming for a good time with their family, right? They're just coming to have fun and have a wonderful day or have a wonderful weekend. And that is putting money not only back into the coffers of these organizations, but into the city and into the businesses and the business community along Palmetto. Would you care to speak to that?
Our vice president, Kathy Johnson, goes up and down Palmetto to talk to every business owner in advance of the Fog Fest. And everybody is excited to have the Fog Fest there. It's hard to be in business on Palmetto with 60,000 people on the street in front of your shop and not have it be a financial gain for you. Or if you choose not to run your shop, and there's a few places to do that, they do it for customer appreciation parties. Dial Glass does I think a customer
Sure,
appreciation
absolutely.
party. The hair salon next to Lit does a customer appreciation party. So these people are reaching out, they're engaging with the community, they're thanking their customers, and they're also benefiting from the business.
Absolutely.
But the true purpose of this thing is our nonprofits and our small community groups. These are the people that we are raising money for.
Now, John, you know, not to bring up a sore subject, but there was a couple of years there that we thought we might not have a Fog Fest.
Yeah, just the year before last. Or actually last year.
And it was upside down
It was upside
financially?
down financially. We had a fall off in the community groups. I think after COVID, nobody was doing anything. And they didn't feel the need to volunteer and raise money for the organization, so they didn't show up. And
by the way, I want to
the
give
board was burnt out. And so
the board was burnt out, but I want to give credit to you and your team.
It's all to team,
Robbie
not
Bancroft,
me.
of course, who
Robbie,
brought
yes.
in a lot of folk, and Kathy, who has been steadfast. And I'm going to just tell you this, and I know we've talked a little bit, but I don't think I've ever said this to you. But I want to tell you that, you know, when Larry Passmore ran it, it was a great tight ship. And then for a little while there, it hit almost, and I know part of it was COVID. A huge part of it had to be that we almost didn't have any events because of COVID. I run events, so I know what that's like. But you know what? The fact is, you guys came in, and man, I'm telling you, did you turn that thing around? And I know, believe me, brother, I know it cost you personally because, you know.
You see this gray hair? You see this gray hair?
You know, but you still got some hair, so that's the good news. That's the good news. But yeah, I know it came at a cost, brother. And I want I want to say I want to applaud you personally because I don't think it would have happened without your leadership.
Well, when
and
Marty
Kathy's
says
leadership.
you, he's talking about the entire team. It
Well,
really
I am,
is
but
an
I
amazing.
want to
Well,
say that
thank
to
you,
you
Marty.
personally because
I'll-
the fact of the matter is you got to have somebody steering that rudder.
I don't know where that person is.
Just take it, John. Just take it.
You know what? Take a compliment, John, because you earned it, pal. You earned it.
Well, I think this town deserves it. When we run the thing from the deck of the resource center, and when you stand out on Fog Fest morning and you're looking up and down Palmetto Avenue, and you're seeing all these people connecting with their friends and their family, and they're excited about the event, it makes it all worthwhile when you see what this event means to the city of Pacifica.
What it means to this community and how it brings the community together, how it supports the community in so many other ways, not just financially, but in so many in ways. It creates that community. We're talking about community media. Well, these events, I've spent a lot of times talk because, like I said, I run events too. I run the Sacramento International Film Festival and other fairly large events. And I got to tell you, every time I've ever gone before a city council or a political body or whatever that just didn't get it, or even for that matter, sponsors that are like, what's the point? What the point is that what a city is not bricks and buildings and infrastructure. What a city is the community. And what makes the community, in large part, are those cultural events that put you on the map and that say, this is who we are. This is our identity.
I'm going to hijack a little bit real quick because in the sense of community, I think one of the great things that we have in this town is the chit chat. I really do.
Chit chat.
The chit chat. You go, you meet your friends, you get good coffee, you have a place to work on things, and the live music that you have there is fun. How often do you do live music now as the new?
So we do live music both days, Saturday and Sunday. There's usually 3 bands. So it would be 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m., 2-hour sets every weekend.
Now, wait a minute. I'm going to do something real quick here because I'm looking at the time and I'm noticing that it's like 5 minutes before Jason thinks it's Miller time. like when Fred Flintstone boop, and he slides down the Brontosaurus. Jason, we're going to have to go over a little bit here. I'm sorry, brother. But Can we do a favor? Can I get somebody to bring me 2 other chairs? Because I want to make sure we bring the makers into this conversation. Because please, if we could get a couple of chairs over here, because I want to bring I think we have at least 2 makers that want to talk, and I want to put them on. Thank you, guys. Oh, thank you, Kimmy. Can you put that one over here, sweetheart? I thank you. And then we're going to put one more, and we're going to talk, because it does require a community. And the chit chat is a part of it, but these makers, who, by the way, are some of the people that inhabit these booths.
At the Fog Fest too.
Yeah. Oh, here, bring that one over here if you don't mind, brother. Thank you, my man. Oh, I know.
Yeah, you give them instructions. You tell them where to put it. You tell them where to put that.
While we're doing this, so let's go ahead and bring our makers on. Can we bring them on, Cheryl? Can we bring them on? Come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. One on one side and one on the other. All right. Now, here's the thing, guys. The chit chat, I was so worried. Same way I was worried about the Fog Fest. I was worried about the chit chat because I was afraid that you guys weren't going to be here and that it wasn't. Talk to me as we're talking about this idea of bringing community together. What does the chit chat mean? I know I heard what John had to say, but you worked there long before you owned the place. What did it mean to you personally?
Well, I mean, it's where I met my husband, so it obviously means a lot. We've wanted to take over ever since we worked there. We talked about it. We talked about what we would do with the place. So it really means a lot to me. But I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of people saying, we were scared it was going to go away. It was going to close. It was going to get turned into something else. You're going to stop the music. You're going to stop the art. And we have no interest in doing that. We want to keep kind of the heart and soul of the place.
Please don't stop the music.
And then put a little bit of a spin on it. We're doing a little bit more exciting food. My husband likes to smoke meat, so we smoke our own chicken, pulled pork, and tri-tip. Those
sandwiches are the bomb, baby. Mm-hmm. All right, now, brother. I know we met you earlier. Tell me your name again.
James.
James, how do we reach you?
Instagram, SEMAJS_cookies, Pacifica's Finest Cookies. Let's get it. PCT.
Do you like cookies? Do you like amazing cookies? James is the man. And dear, if you would, tell me your name.
Ida Fantai.
Hi, Ida. And I saw your wonderful art, but do you mind telling us a little bit about your art?
Yeah, I am originally from Ethiopia, born and raised there. And the last few years, I was trying to reconnect to my heritage through ceramics. So I make ceramics and put designs and color of Ethiopia that remind me of good times onto my ceramics and sell them locally.
And by the way, I saw, and we were talking earlier, and if you didn't get a chance to see her work, I want to tell you that you need to. How do people get a hold of you?
I'm on Instagram under Birkay Ceramics, BIRKAY Ceramics, and my email is also birkayceramics@gmail.com.
Point of personal privilege here. Do you happen to cook?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you just met a friend right here because I happen to love Ethiopian food. So fantastic. So, Cheryl, we're going to do a thing here. We're going to close out the day here.
We have so much to give away,
We have so much to give away. All right, Cheryl,
Why
let's
don't we do
it.
Ida's? You want to hold that up?
Okay, so this is one of Ida's.
That is absolutely
This is gorgeous, by the way. And I know you can't tell.
How long does it take to make one of those, Ida?
How long does it take?
It takes about 6 hours.
Oh my gosh.
All things taken together. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
All right, we got. I don't know who's going to win this because it's the end of the day. Go for
Are
it.
there any city council members?
We got to make it snappy. Jason wants to go home, but we got to do this. Ida, you ready?
This goes to Meredith S.
Meredith, where you at, Meredith? Give it up for her.
Meredith S.
All right, we're going to put that right here. Meredith.
She got it.
Meredith, you won.
Yes.
Hey.
Oh, Meredith. Meredith does such
Hi,
good
Meredith.
work with the SPCA.
It is gorgeous, and now you own it.
All right.
All right.
On the vein of beautiful
Oh, very
items.
good.
I'm sorry about that. This
Okay.
is Mama J Glass.
Okay, Mama J Glass.
Lori Jacobson of Pacifica. She melts and makes these things with fused glass and dichroic glass.
Gorgeous.
So here's the card
Okay.
that goes with that.
Okay.
And
Mama J.
the lucky winner is...
By the way, Instagram Mama J Glass.
Oh, no. We have to draw again.
Uh-oh. Why?
It's
is it
the
you?
Mary Beer curse.
The Mary Beer. Mary, but
She bought so many
hey,
tickets.
you know,
Thank
you
you,
win,
Mary.
you
That
win.
is not
She
a
wants
bad
to give
thing.
it. She wants to give it to
That
other
is
people.
not a bad thing because
Mary,
the tickets
Mary
benefit.
wants to give it to other people.
Brandon Farrell.
Brandon Farrell.
Brandon
By the way,
Farrell.
my grandpa's name, Farrell. This is, all right, so we're going to
Okay,
put that
and
right
then-
there. We'll hold that off for Brandon. Yep. What's
On
next?
the Mama J train,
Ooh,
she makes
a
beautiful
tiara.
pieces of dichroic glass and gives them to me
Beautiful.
to work with Pacifica sea glass. This one does not have sea glass. It is simply Lori's dichroic glass. Oops.
Beautiful.
And crystal beads on
Okay.
a silver tiara.
By the way, what is dichroic glass?
Dichroic, I think, came from the technology of the space shuttle. So it was, I think, came out of the process of making heat-resistant panels.
Wow.
But dichroic means multicolors.
Multicolors.
So dichroic glass will show, like you see in here, how there's
Yeah.
all different colors. And when
Yeah.
you move it, it changes color.
I've never had
That's
dichroic
what
glass. I've had a little
dichroic is.
Detroit glass, but it was
Yeah,
there was a
different.
libation that went along with it.
Very different. So
Okay.
the tiara is going to Mary Beer.
Another Mary Beer.
She did
Mary,
give
by
me-
the way, we want to
she
thank
did
you
give
for
me
buying
clear-
100
Yes,
tickets. That was
yes.
amazing.
She gave me clear instructions
Yep.
that anytime I pull her ticket to,
That
just put
give
it
it to somebody
aside.
else. Mary's a sweetheart.
Lila Renin. Lila.
Lila. All right, Lila, this is going to you. Lila.
Lila Renero.
Okay, that's okay. We'll get it to her. We'll make
Okay.
sure she gets it.
Next up, our dear friend
Uh-huh.
Jennifer Clark.
Oh, there
Thank
we
you,
go.
John.
Thank you, John.
This
Here we go.
is her hand-painted motif
Okay.
that is then put on fabric, and this
That
is
is
a table
beautiful.
runner. But it's so pretty. I
You know,
would wear it.
It
as
looks
a
like.
scarf.
Are those
They're
butterflies?
butterflies.
Yeah. Okay.
Jennifer is an illustrator, and she does illustrations for books about butterflies.
Wow.
So this is one of her prints. She's not even here today as one of the makers, and she sent
Very
that
sweet. Thank
to
you.
show her
Thank you.
support. She is an organizer from the coast side for
Love
Half
it.
Moon Bay.
Love it. Thank
And
you,
we
all of
love
our Half
having
Moon Bay
her support
artists
and her beautiful
and our
items.
Mid-Coast artists, and her contact is right here. Hang on, I'm going to tell them. ClarkByDesign.com.
ClarkByDesigns.
Jennifer Clark, we love you. Thank you, Jennifer.
And this goes to James. Last name?
James.
Samaj's cookies. That's me.
Oh, we
It's
think
you,
did.
James.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I
baby.
give you permission to wear
That's
it.
you, brother.
I give you permission to wear it. Okay, take a break from modeling your thing and show us another one of the pieces of art.
Oh,
now,
there it is.
We're going to give
Right
two
there.
away because
there.
these are valuable pieces of art.
And wh-
They're
and
a
who did
combination.
these?
These are from Gail Benjamin.
Gail Benjamin again.
Left Coast Sea Glass of Pacifica. And they are her original art called Odd Birds.
Odd Birds.
And
I
they're made
love
with
it.
sea glass that Gail finds herself. So everything about this is her.
Fantastic gifts, by the
Oh,
way.
I know. And I have two in my home, and I
You
love
got somebody
them.
coming up with a
Love them.
birthday?
Okay, Lori Jacobson won an odd
Lori
bird.
Jacobson.
She's one of our makers. Come up here and claim your
Come on,
piece,
Lori.
Lori. She is Mama J of Mama J Glass.
Mama J is a
Come
winner.
on, Mama J, come get it. You get to pick which one.
By the way, are there any artists here who we did not say thank you to or who we did not acknowledge on camera?
If
because
any one of the makers would like
If
to
there's
come up
any
and say
makers
hello,
that we have
please
not
do.
acknowledged, okay, folks, listen. I just
Heather,
want to say,
let's get Heather
where's
up here.
Heather?
Somebody make Heather come up here.
Heather, she's shy.
Yeah.
But if you want to come up here, Heather, we'd love to have you. And by the way, thank you so much, Heather, for helping to put this thing together. By the way, Cheryl, thank you for helping to put this thing together. Cheryl coordinated with all these wonderful artists. Can we give it up for Cheryl Amater, our wonderful
Thank you.
board member?
It could not have been done if the makers hadn't jumped and
Jumped in.
responded and worked with me. So I'm so grateful for that.
And we're grateful for you, and we're grateful for everybody here because, again, community media is all about community, and it takes all of us working together. It's the Fog Festival, it's the Chit Chat, it's all these wonderful artists. Yes, it's the Sanchez Art Center,
Yes.
and thankfully, we heard it here, they're not going anywhere, right? Except up higher. So we want to thank all of you. We want to thank all of our interns and can we say thank you to all of our volunteers?
I have one more prize.
You got
another odd
You got
bird.
one
Gail
more?
gave us 3.
Okay.
And
All
I
right.
pulled Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy wins an odd bird.
All right. Guess what,
Okay,
folks?
now I'm done.
Hey, I just want to say thank you to everybody, all of our board, all of our staff, all of our members. It couldn't happen without you. I owe Jason a beer, and it couldn't happen without any of you. So just thank you. Thank you, thank you. And do yourself a favor, get into that next workshop and come on down here and let's see how your community center can work for you, Coastside. We're here for you. We love you. Thank you. Good night.